starting. Okay. Did the stream started? Mhm. All right.
We
Guys,
live?
oh my camera is like glitching a little bit. Hold on. Okay, but the stream is here. Hello, guys. Hello. I hope we are online. If yes, welcome to another A.W.O.L Season 3 Monday. We're currently on week 6. As you can see, it's not only been a really long time that I'm being here on the channel. I'm super excited for today, as well as Blue joining me in. So hello, Blue. Nice that you're being here. It's been a long time. It's been a long time.
Yeah, it's at least been 2 weeks for me. It's even longer for you at this point, right? You got a lot of stuff going on. You have too many things going on throughout the week these days, don't you? At this point.
Yeah, it's like super incredible. It's like you do tournaments, then every time on Monday I'm also as well babysitting someone else's children. So this is like why I can't exactly stream, but it's like super duper fun to babysit. But now I have some free time, and now I'm super happy to be here. I mean, the last time where I was be able, I didn't got chosen by the boss, but
Yeah,
it's
true.
okay. It's okay. I've
What
cried enough. I've cried enough. I've saved some water for my shower after this crisis.
Yeah, what a jerk. Who wouldn't let you stream
Yeah, I don't know.
and put Rune Folk on instead?
Yeah,
Like,
that's
crazy.
like super crazy. I mean, he's still in charge, so maybe did Rich. No, but hey, it especially like also for Otherite, because you're talking about busy weeks. Also for Otherite, it's been like a lot stuff happening, right? With all the qualifiers is going to be on, as well as all of the like weekly tournaments in general. It's like super crazy. I mean, just like, guys, if you're going to check out the 39cards.com and trends, how many tournaments right now are going to be played, especially the online ones. And I would never fail like of that like months before or like during the first season that beside like the A.W.O.L, there would be like other tournaments that were going to be presented weekly, right? So this is like super cool, and I feel like it's one of the biggest wins for Otherite TCG, all those online events going to be happen.
Yeah. A lot of online events, and like you mentioned, a lot of world qualifier events that are finally coming together here. You got a big one coming up here in what, 2 weeks now? Thereabouts?
Oh yeah, that's true. So there will be also one here in Germany, in Esne, and I am the one that's being able to cast it in real life as well in Esne, together with Runefolk, and hopefully some many other guests, because when I announced it like in the German Discord, they were all like, oh yeah, we will join in as well. That was like, yeah, I need to have like a full like a full setup with like many seats, because a small couch would not be enough for everyone that wants to say hi. And I'm super excited because it's like one of the I would say one of the biggest events by far for like when it comes to stream to do that. So I'm super excited for that and want to see how it goes on.
Yeah, definitely. It should be exciting to see how that one turns out. I know, coming off of the French qualifier, it should be interesting to see who what heroes we see overall.
Yeah. So, but hey, it's also for you like pretty early in the morning or not?
It's only 10 a.m.
Only 10. Oh, okay.
yeah. It's not as early as I woke up for the French qualifier, or how late I stayed up rather. I was staying up till midnight, till like 5 or 6 in the morning.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah, you also had like a super super tough weekend, right? Did you get rested at some point?
Yeah, I did get some. Yeah, I did get some rest eventually. I mean, I had to at some point, right?
Yeah.
you did a lot of streaming yourself, so you had to at least. Well, you got to go to sleep as soon as you were finished streaming, right?
Yeah, I was totally like exhausted. It's like the full week, because then like with like the regular work, right? And then like the other streams. So this was like one of the, I would say like actually one of the toughest weeks by far for this year. So, but now I'm at least know how to handle it when I'm being on Essen as well. But then I don't need to drive home. Someone else is doing it, so at least there I can just like rest a little bit.
Yeah, you don't have to fall asleep on the tram, right?
Yeah, no. I don't have to. I hope it's not happening.
But yeah, anyway, we're getting into the what is it now? The weekly number 6 here for Monday for A.W.O.L, and should be having some matchups here shortly. Another full event, so that's good to see.
Yeah, that's super cool. It's super awesome to see how fast you guys getting to went up like with the numbers, right? It's like always like for myself when I was like not being able to stream and but I had time to play, then I was always like, oh yeah, let's check if I can go in. And then for weeks after weeks I couldn't just like sign in, and I was like, oh man. I need to be one of the early birds. I mean, not the early birds, there's still like enough time, but it's super cool that people taking care of like, hey, I should actually sign in before it's going to be starting, right? And talk about starting, the tournament should start now, and you can tell me which table we're going to be, because I need to just like reconnect my webcam. I'm seeing some issues right now with it. So
okay, sounds good. All right, so I have some previous knowledge here that I think, unless they just lied to me after talking to them, Altered Aces Popeye is going to be playing Cojo today, and I want to see what the deck list is. So table 40.
Table 40, and as long I would just like reconnect. Okay. And it's against Sabin. That's cool because Sabin is one of the German players, and it's also one of the guys that actually we've traded a card with Tumult Championships playmat, so that I've got another one. And then afterwards he was like, oh wait, there are like online tournaments? This is cool. Exactly. Thanks for promoting my YouTube. Cole, what do you mean? Did I miss something?
Yeah. No. But yeah, so we're starting off hot here for Popeye.
So I will quickly reconnect.
Yeah, no worries. Popeye starting off hard here with a unique Haven Bouncer that has Sabotage from hand, and from reserve you may discard a card from your reserve. If you do resupply, and when it leaves the expedition zone, draws a card. So has a lot of different abilities there. I think the preeminent one at this point is definitely when I leave the expedition zone, draw a card, and we will just see Sabin go ahead and just use that magical training twice, find to draw twice, basically a conjuring seal, and give up the 2-0 to Popeye on the Cojo.
Okay, I'm back. And it seems like a nice double trade-off for Cojo. That seems pretty good. Yeah. And also directly to unique. Yes.
Yeah. Sabin was able to draw 2 cards off of it. So nothing too bad. Probably doing the good old Aphonis, get as many cards as possible, and then hopefully win in the late game kind of thing. But we'll see. Have to see how that one turns out.
Yes. As we can see, somehow my camera is struggling a little bit with it. I will fix it for the second round. It's okay.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah. So as you can see, this is like one of the cool things right now that I've saw recently also for the Aphonis in the deleted qualifier. Everyone is just like playing with the nil and with it tree, and this is actually funny because if you could like go into the most list, then usually it's like why you should play this, because like usually Aphonis only playing like around like the most list, and I think also Sabin would be kind of it, playing like 5 to 7 cards that would enable the effect of the Nilam with a tree. Besides the fact that out of those 7 cards could be the Nilam tree as well with 3 copies of it. But I think like this is like a card that also totally being super good as a standalone card, because you're being able to play it, being able to remove like also a resource or just like deactivate a resource at this point for your opponent, and also being able to create a creature was always like a favor for Aphonis with like the lack of creatures in general. So it's like a super cool card, and I'm super excited for that to see always like how Aphonis going to play.
Yeah, definitely. It's probably my favorite card when it came to Trial by Frost as a whole. Especially in the common. I don't think that many people use the rare, but just as a solid permanent that, I mean, at this point, we really hadn't seen a lot of players want to use higher cost permanents. And I was also about to say now would be a good time to play that Mighty Gin just as a response, because another 4 cost for a 4 cost, you'll still get an advance out of it, and you get to draw a card and keep up with the the Aphonis at this point has to feel good for the Popeye on the Cojo. But like you said, it is interesting to see the Aphonises use the Nilum at this point. I still haven't seen, I guess, what is the most popular thing to do with the Nilum. I know there was a lot of Nilums at the French qualifier, but not all of them. Do you think you are more afraid when you're playing up against Aphonis to see the Nilum being played, or you would rather see, I guess, just a non-Nilum Aphonis deck?
That's like a good question. What I feel like is like that the Nilum, as we can see maybe at some point also again, is like a super cool card to make like Aphonis even more stable than before. Because Aphonis' biggest strength right now is just like being the fact that by out just like with the ability from the hero itself, as well as the lot of spells from Ismail as well, like one of the coolest abilities or way to play with like the removals and additionally getting like the cost. So I would be actually scared if like something like the Nilum were coming out, because if you have like 2 versions of it, and then we also need to rethink of like how like the whole card system for Autorit in general works. So there's like a high chance that you're getting out the cards that you want at a certain point. Also with like the draw ability from Aphonis as well. I would be like more scared of this Nilum list than without it, because I know this is like a extra ability or an extra way for Aphonis to getting like a character out, to being able to exhaust one of my cards in the early games, or like during the mid game if the Nilum will become out to play first. So this is like kind of the things where you need to have like the extra preparation. So this is like super crazy. And so did we really change the view? Oh yeah, it could be that BKA changed the view actually.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Doesn't look too different to me, but maybe it did.
Maybe.
But we do see on that last day another Trial by Frost card come out in the Snowman in order to prevent the advance of the Aphonis player. Snowman are really good at rare out of faction card for Cojo. I ended up taking it out of the list that I've been running in a Cojo in favor of some new Whispers from the Maze cards, but I definitely can see why Popeye is still using it here. Obviously helped out a lot there to be able to block the advance on water and get an advance themselves to and put them in a really good spot in this game, just needing 3 more to take this game. But we'll have to see how it turns out with Category and Mage Dancer coming out.
Yeah, I'm totally agreeing to that. What's also just like super cool right now, we see the Slate offense. So again, there's like the 2 mana mobs that were going to be coming out from our Aphonis player Sabin here as well, because of the exhaust from the card. So there's another way to just like block out the snowman and even being able to also claim the expedition, because what is like super crazy for Cojo, it's just like how fast the stack went. So it's like super cool to see. In general, also how Cojo is doing right now. It's like, I feel like somehow Cojo got a really big stonks into how the game actually went for Cojo. It's like super cool. And also to quote Keelan actually said Cojo could potentially be the best hero as well as the best faction to play out now, but still there is something like missing from the decks to be an absolutely non-brainer. And I feel like the same with him, to say like something feels like there is like 99% already reached for Cojo, but there is like the 1% that's going to be into the perfection for the lists. And I'm super excited already for Essen. Because this is the next qualifier, right? There's not qualifier before. I don't know.
Nope, it is the next one. So the closest one right after the French.
Oh, this is like super crazy. So I'm super excited to see what's happening. And my manager moved my 101 to be in. Oh, Cole again playing during work. Ay. Just kidding.
But yeah, no, I think Cojo and Braavos as a whole definitely has a place here in the meta. I don't think it's at the top necessarily. I still think Aphonis is by far the dominant force in the meta as far as just overall consistency, especially at the highest level and the bigger tournaments. I just don't see Aphonis being beaten at this point. Obviously, it still has some bad matchups, specifically against Sigismar kind of thing. But as far as like the definition of the meta, I would still have to give it to Aphonis. But I am excited to see some of the new cards, specifically things like the Hunger coming out from Braavos decks, which we are running into an 8-mana turn here coming up on the next day. So we could see that at any point, especially with having such a big advantage on the Tumult at this point for the Cojo player.
Yeah, that's totally agreeing on that. So, I mean, Aphonis proving it like many times to, even if like, still it's like the fact of like, it's like one of the most played decks always like from the qualifications like in general, right? And also at the end, like one of those factions that actually also getting like the best results. I mean, what's like super special for Lily was like how Traced actually went. I was super excited for that. And also just like when I checked out the top 16, I also realized, hey, it was actually not those bug fix lists that actually went like super well. It was like actually one of the more like classical trace lists that actually going to be into that place. I mean, everyone is talking about Pompode and this amazing and nice uniques that he pulled out, but there was actually also a player named Scab that just like played out more regularly uniques. I mean, for example, like an Athena that's just like losing fleeting if you control 2 landmarks and that's it and stuff like that. There was like even more casual, casual uniques. So I was super excited and I felt like, hey, maybe Trace will become getting played more and more, but I still feel like it didn't change like that much. What I was super sad about it, because I felt like, okay, everyone is picking up Trace now and let's go, but it doesn't seem like that even after the tournament 1 week before. It's still like the fact that like the old heroes, I would say like Cojo, Sigismar, as well as Aphonis is going to be into the spots in the favorite hearts for online players. But hey, maybe it's changing. Maybe it's changing at some point.
Yeah, definitely. I think Trace definitely is the under the radar hero that it's given a few different people worries after that French qualifier. But we do see a unique coming out of Popeye here on the Cojo of a Tooth Fairy that has Sabotage from Anywhere and Resupply from Anywhere. What a Tooth Fairy to have. I have a Ysmir version of this, but it's 3 cost, I believe. So having a 2 cost from hand, 2 cost from reserve, Tooth Fairy, Sabotage from Anywhere, Resupply from Anywhere, I would not be upset to have that one in any of my decks as a whole. I know the 2 cost Tooth Fairy Sabotages have been pretty popular over for the Braavos players. So to see one that has that resupply as well, I don't even want to think how much that could have cost them if they didn't pull it.
Yeah, it's green. And as we can see right now, it seems like with 5 mana left, that the Cojo right now can potentially just like close it out. I mean, we see like still the Sleight of Hand as well as 1 hand card left in general for Aphonis, but the Sleight of Hand is going to be played out earlier. So I guess it could be another off you. It could be an off you go on hand. I feel like this is an off you go.
But at this point, if there's any removal coming from the Cojo, then it just doesn't matter. We'll have to see what he has. He's used 2 of his Duel of Grids, so I don't know how much other removal he has available to him. Could still see some mana eruptions, maybe Intimidation, but still 2 mana left to work with which is a lot for a Cojo player.
Yeah,
so a lot on the board that could be messed with here. So we'll have to see what they decide to play. Either way, even if they don't close it out now, I'd have to imagine they're going to be in a good spot to take this game on a following day against the Aphonis player on Sabin.
Yeah. It's like right now, it's super interesting, right? And okay, the Haven Seringa is going to be played. And I feel like even with like a removal right now, I mean, potentially the Haven Seringa can just like get out removed. Oh no, it's the Joyride. And okay, it's enough with the Nilam River tree. That's super cool to see. So both of them going to be placed there, then with the additional boost. It's clear right now for that, but it's like only 1 expedition left for the Cojo right now. And also just like with the amount of like resources generated the Aphonis right now got, it seems pretty hard, but maybe like Dash the True cards can make the difference, but it's only one expedition left for Cojo, so it's super hard. And also the True Fairy have like the arrow effect of Sabotage, where it also needs to just like think about it, our Aphonis players. But whew, that seems like super interesting, so let's see.
Yeah, Aphonis will be able to play first, but whatever's left can be sabotaged by Popeye on that Cojo player. As far as the Cojo player, should be interesting to see if the Aphonis decides to mana here, because they could be left with almost nothing, but they are already behind in mana because of the early on ramp that we saw on from the Mighty Djinn from the Cojo player, I believe. So, and I think they'll potentially be low on characters to be able to be played, especially if they don't have something that can trigger those Nilums, and they don't play the Disciple, because that could easily get sabotaged. So a lot of it's contingent on what the Aphonis is going to play here first, and then how the Cojo player might respond. Either way, the Cojo player can mess with giving up a 2-0 here and just build up resources and knock out their opponent's resources if they want to.
Yeah, that's true. And it's like crazy. Okay, so the Suicide, it's going to be played out. I mean, it's like one of the things that the fans for that in general wants to keep characters to getting boosted up if it's being able. But maybe it's also something that actually Popeye could read off of it, of like, okay, so there's like actually I need to play these Studio Disciples out, so maybe there are like not that many characters left, and we see the Beauty Sleep is going to be played out, but just like with the Tiny Chin being also here in reserve, with the Haven Saringa, it seems super good still, like for Popeye. So it's super hard. And okay.
Another sabotage.
I feel like with that.
Oh, I mean, this still could be something here.
Another Beauty Sleep. Oh, okay.
Just gonna try to take out all possible characters that could be played here.
Yeah, but it's still like the fact that actually Popeye is getting it with that. Yeah,
there's too many characters that you can't make fall asleep, and we get the GG.
Triple sleep, it's also something.
Yeah,
that's super cool.
We get the GGs in the chat, and
GG.
Popeye will end up taking this one. So interesting to see him play the Cojo here, opposed to the Sigismar that we've seen him qualify with in the Netherlands. So fun deck list, and honestly some really good uniques that I saw there.
Yeah, this is like also one of the things that I feel like, so like if like a player like Popeye, I feel like with like the game experience in general, can like super switch easily maybe on decks because he knows what to play, right? But then also, especially because being part of the team Order Red Aces, I think like he's got like uniques for every faction that he wants to play. And I know some Order Red Aces folks will come to Essen as well. I'm not sure if one of like, I mean, Cletius I know by for sure will come. So I'm super excited to see maybe other Order Red Aces member to see how it's going to be. And maybe we can also figure out how another table we're going to work through the win. So, let's see. And then I would just like maybe fix my camera again, something maybe with the cable, something weird I could feel. I've got like a new desk for me. So I didn't set up every proper. If you want, we can go to table 3 because they're like not that far, and it's Damien against 4 Ordered. So also 2 really strong player. And oh yes, here we go, the Trace matchup, and I need to fix my camera. Oh man. So okay, I will be fast.
No worries. So we will get into this game here shortly. Let me pull it up for everybody. We do have the Basira versus Trace. I've actually really been enjoying the Basira as far as Braavos heroes are concerned and seeing what they can do. And then, of course, we do have Trace, which has been, as we mentioned earlier on, kind of the underdog hero that made a big splash in the French qualifier, taking the whole thing and being a qualifier there with Pumpote, and not necessarily in being involved with the bug fix loop either. just a solid deck that is able to use some of the new cards coming out from Whispers from the Maze and use the good old hero ability of Trace that lets you keep some card advantage whenever you can. But we do interestingly have Basira with a lot of cards in hand and the lead on the Tumult at this point by at least one spot. So we'll have to see if the Trace can use that hero ability to potentially recoup some of that card advantage and try to take the game here while being one down on a Tumult. We have both players setting up mana, and they each do have a Haven Braavos Bastion. But important thing to note is that they are different, as we are all aware of at this point, where the Axiom can only be exhausted to do it. Yeah, importantly, we do have Runefolk in the chat who, before the French qualifier, called how good every single Trace deck was. Not just bug fix Trace, every single Trace deck, and how Trace was top tier. So if you are looking for someone that can see into the future and call wins like that, Runefolk is the one to talk to, because I remember that A.W.O.L, he was mentioning how good Trace was, and definitely not just bug fix Trace. And then that next weekend, we saw Trace take the whole thing.
Yeah, if Rune's saying the deck is OP, then guys, you can know it's winning. It's almost winning Worlds, at least the qualifier spot for the championships. Okay, something is weird with my camera. Hey guys in the chat, if it's like too strange to look at it, I can also disable my camera. It's all good, but it seems like flashing every second, so maybe I will turn my picture on for that. Yes, something is weird with the camera. I don't know what it is actually. It works fine yesterday. It's just like flashy at some point, but then I will add my picture, guys. All good. So, but did I miss something here? So I see Trace is going to be in the good spot as always.
Yeah, Trace is in a good spot, but we do see a lot of cards in hand for the Basira player that is ahead on the board, and we're just kind of seeing if the Trace can make the comeback here a little bit. They are down as far as cards in hand, and cards in reserve they're ahead, but I mean 6 cards in hand is nothing to mess with, and we see a unique Ozma that just lets you draw from anywhere, and then from reserve, if you hit control landmark, draw a card. So that's it's definitely not going to help the Trace as far as card advantage.
Yeah, it's true.
Let's see.
I'm always wondering how big your screen is above your main screen.
because I'm always looking up to my left.
Yeah, if you're looking at the top, it feels like it's like a whole beamer just like flashing on the wall.
I actually have 3 screens. So when I look up when I look up to my left, that's my upper left screen, and I have one my upper right that I don't really use, and then I have my main screen down here where I keep the gameplay, because that's where my camera is, and it looks like I'm looking right at chat. But yeah,
that's cool. That's cool. So as you can see now, I mean, guys, now I can talk a little bit. Upper right is for enemy rifle bots. All right, cool. Thank you so much. Didn't know that you know so well what Blue actually going to have under the screens, but thank you so much for the insights. Didn't know that. No, but actually right now, what we can see with the Trace here is just like the fact that sometimes it's like, it feels like, okay, right now, Trace going to be cooked, but there's so many things that the Trace right now can do. I mean, also just like activating the ability at some point, but also Basira, one of the sleepy BBs here, going to be played out the Fire Rapid, getting the additional boost. It seems like super fine for the Basira right now. I mean, like a lot of resources going to be played out from hand, so there needs to getting some cards discarded from the reserve. I mean, right now it's like 3 by far. Oh no, actually not. I'm sorry, guys. The Elven Bouncer can just like being played out. Yeah, I need to buy a new camera. I don't know what's happening. Maybe I just like used the wrong cable for like the how do you call it? If you can put in multiple things in there. Maybe like this cable is broken from this. How do you call that? Blue, help me.
Are you just saying there's like too many cables or something?
Yeah, where you can put like more cables into it, like one box, and then you can put like 3 cables into it.
Oh, like a splitter?
Yeah, splitter or docking station. Docking station,
Yeah.
yes. A
Yeah.
dock
Oh,
station.
yeah. Docking stations are nice. I have one on my other setup.
Yeah.
This one I don't use one. I use a HDMI splitter and a USB splitter to have more stuff for everything. So, yeah.
But I feel like this could be that like the cable is broken from the dock station because the camera worked fine on the laptop. So I feel like maybe a cable there is like broken. Not the docking station, but maybe the cable. So this will be a small fix after the stream.
Yeah, you don't need to necessarily need a docking station, but those are nice if you can. But,
I just like got one left over when I had like not that much space. When I back in the days didn't have like a full PC, just like a gaming laptop. And then it was like a blessing for having that, so I can put in everything. But now I have like a standalone PC, you know, after getting famous for after getting the big money from Twitch. I shared it with my team today, guys. The Lamborghini and the Porsche. It's not far away. I mean, at least far away from my home, but it's like not that far away anymore. I mean, a couple of 100 years, and then I've got it, basically. I would sit into it. No.
Yeah. I remember when you did end up getting your partnership on Twitch, and I was trying to promote it and get you as many subs as possible so you can get that Lamborghini. But
Twitch is taking much money.
Yeah, we do get a 2-for-1 there for the Basira player. Still a lot of resources available to them, and now only one advance away from taking this game against the Traced. The Traced obviously has been able to try to keep up a little bit, but is going to have to stop the Basira entirely at this point. And with that, Ozma that we see in reserve is going to be able to draw at least one card. One of their permanents did get taken out, so they won't get that from reserve ability, but will at least get one and have the mana advantage against the Traced, who is running out of cards to stop the Basira. Yeah, get the experience points. Make sure everyone that's here, you're chatting things up so you can get a ranking in the A.W.O.L channel here. So if you're here, talk things, say hi, talk to the other people in the chat, say hi to us. Yeah, hunger is always so beautiful to watch. I mean, we get a lot of those complainers out there, probably the same people that didn't like the Ortis days, but what can you do? If your faction's just not good enough, sometimes it's just not good enough. But we do see a rare Vike being played. Don't get to see that very often, so maybe that's going to be part of the new meta here with the Trace, playing some Vikes, playing some other cards that we didn't get to see a lot in the previous meta.
I feel like the hangar is like next to it. I mean, not for me personally. I mean, you can play around it at some point. I mean, like, true, maybe like.
I mean, I think it's fine. I think what you're mentioning with the small step inherently just didn't have counterplay if you were ahead or even if you're even with your opponent. And then although you're playing the hunger similarly, and usually when you're ahead or in some capacity like that, it does definitely still have counterplay in the sense of, I mean, you can just sleep it. There's a lot of removal nowadays that are associated with boosted characters kind of thing, right? And it's definitely not something you can't counter in some capacity as far as removal, especially with the addition of some different removal cards within Whispers from the Maze. I think the main thing that people are that don't like about it, obviously, is it hurts Muna a lot with the anchored cards and potentially setting up your trees, and you're not targeting anything, so you don't have to pay a tough for it. And then especially with like any type of permanence, or if you're planning on playing something from reserve, or if you have a low hand size, then you're kind of screwed kind of thing as well. But all of that kind of factors into how you play the game. You could essentially say the same thing about the Lokis that we've been seeing a lot of these days, but
true.
no one ever really played Loki that much. So I don't think it's horrible at the moment, but I see the frustration. I'd be curious to see if Equinox feels like it's something that they want to address, but at the moment, I think it's fine. But also, I'm a big Braavos fan, and I think everyone should include the hunger in all of your Braavos decks. So,
yeah, I mean the hunger is like as you said, it's like according to how it's felt like with the other cards, because I was like for me personally, like every card that got suspended by far, beside like the jellyfish, because I didn't know like how this combo works, because Lindy also during that point never got played. So maybe there was something that I really missed out, even like with the with like the Robin Hood Irritar, with the Haven as well, with the Small Step Giant Leap. I never had like against all those cards, never felt of like they're like too OP or too strong. But maybe it's like something personally, because I'm laughing to build around like a meta that's going to be. And I also felt like during the time where like Raru back in the day, season 1, I mean, you cannot believe, guys, but outside of Hostage Raru, if you're being new into this game, there was like a meta where you only saw Raru in the top list. Like actually there was like if you looked into any top 16, it was rare to see like not a Raru. So this was like super crazy back in the days. But even that, I feel like it, like Raru at some point felt off at some point. So it was like, okay, people figured out how to play around this Robin Hood, or how to play around this matchup. And so I was like, okay, maybe this is like stuff like that. I mean, at the end, was it a win for everyone? Especially, I would say for Runefog it was a win, because without that, he wouldn't be the most famous hostage player of the world in the world of Autored. But it's like always like with those kind of cards, right? But then need to compare of like casual play to like competitive. And I feel like in general sometimes competitive players don't play too much about cards, because they're like, okay, if this card is OP, then I will play it, or I will just like play around it, and that's it. And talking to play around it, we can directly go into round 2. So if you want, you can choose a table again. If you have like interesting
round
matchups.
2. What do we got here?
Like many players. That's I can say by far.
Yeah, a lot of players to take a look at potentially. Let's take a look a little bit farther down though. Maybe get some folks that we haven't seen necessarily. Let's take a look. What do we got? A lot of names I do recognize, so I feel like we probably looked at a lot of them.
Yeah, there's like Madubatu against Matre is playing. I've heard that Rash is trying out the Lindy list without Babas Ispa and Moth Lantern. Maybe it's also interesting to look into it if he's playing today.
If he's playing that, we could take a look at that. You said like Wesh is doing that?
Rash is doing it, yeah. He's trying out some different stuff. I don't know if it's going to be tried again. He's actually on table 1, so it's like so if you want.
Let's take a look at it and see what we got.
Yeah, let's see.
We got some loading here first. But as we wait for everything to load, I want to thank everyone that has joined us thus far. Another full A.W.O.L weekly here for everyone. So glad that everyone that has been joining this entire season to fill out the Mondays. Feel free to do it on Wednesday too. We'd love to see some more players. I know you folks are probably sleeping, but if you want to come join on Wednesday, you can. Who needs sleep? It's for the week.
Yeah. And it seems like the table is loading, and we see the Lindy and Ma. I mean, I can just like check behind the scenes if this is a list that's just going to be talked about. I mean, Rune Toad, that's going to be... Oh, wait, hold on. Oh. And let's check.
Could be maybe.
It's the list, yeah. Oh,
nice.
It's an interesting list. And
so we'll see
is Miyazaki, so someone in my team told me they are useless to play. Rash proved me wrong today.
Yeah. Interestingly,
yes.
Yeah, interestingly, like Runefolk mentioned, this is common jellies, so not something I'm in particular used to seeing. So I'd be curious. I'm not going to try to spoil myself like you have already, to see what where those rare slots are going if they're not being put on jellyfish or the rare Baba's Isba.
Yeah, I mean, I can not spoiler that far because I only watched if like the Isbas are there, but there's like no Morphland turn that usually going to be played.
Cool.
And no Ispa. I mean, I can potentially quite understood it because it's like always like a setup that you need to play for Lindy with those kind of cards, also filling up as a rare slots as well, to just like getting activated through to it. So I'm super interesting to see his Rash. Hefra, as usual, going to be playing Sigisma. I'm super interesting for that, but now I'm double interesting to see because of Lindy, because I feel like if playing Lindy, there is like not a super bad matchup, but I feel like it's like one of the hardest ways to win actually. So like one of the extra challenge, because if you're doing like one little mistake, like 2 rounds before, like 2 turns before, it's always feel like, okay, there's like no way to come back after this mistake. So I feel like if you want to try out the hardcore challenge, guys, hardcore wins with someone, then Lindy is one of those lists that you can actually taking a look into that. Besides like some heroes that we never saw for weeks.
Yeah.
I'm looking to you, Archon, my little friend, but hey, maybe it's changed. Maybe it's changed for set 4. Maybe.
Yeah, we do see that rare Fairfox come out here.
That's interesting.
Yeah, not one that I have seen a lot of. Very cool art though. And that from hand, if you pay 1, you can discard a permanent with hand cost 2 or less, and if you do, it's controller resupplies. Okay. So a little bit of permanent removal if needed. Not bad against some types of decks, especially Braavos that has a lot of 2-cost permanents.
Mass. Yeah, that's true. With the mass as well, with like all those lists, it's running just like the Havner or Killing Cylinder. I mean, it also feels like that those are like actually the decks that going to be target from Wesh, as it seems like. So super cool to see that, but also for 2/2. I mean, it's a 3/1/3 character, right? So it's also not that bad on stats that you're putting onto the battlefield. But right now it seems again that the Cojo can potentially going to be double. I mean, still even with 1 mana, Cojo is always being able to play something out. And this is also interesting to see the Auto Scry actually as a rare version going to be played out. Super interesting.
Yeah, a lot of folks have been just using the common version, just being happy with the ability to get the boost in reserve and playing a 2-cost that is 3/3/3 in stats, which is always good. But this one does let you ready 2 mana, so essentially you can do the same thing here and pay less for it, but you are using a rare slot, which I feel like are pretty hard to make available in the Sigismar deck list, but at least a little bit easier now because you can't play Baba Yaga, right? So but we do see a Gift of Self coming out here for the Lindaway player. Still can't get rid of Gift of Self. Gotta have to keep some of those cards in there. Get some card draw, seeing what they can play. And just gonna be happy just the 1-for-0 for the Sigismar at this point and go behind on the Tumult.
Yes. Okay. I fixed it. Okay.
Got it?
Yeah, I just like fixed the timers because somehow you're right, Ko. Somehow BGA just like changed something onto the tables. That's like super cool. I mean, maybe it's like super cool. I don't know. it's messy with the stream setups, but it's going to be fixed also during it for the arena as well. As you can see now, what feels like super interesting, that like with this Lindy list, I'm still being able to manage like to get like with those expedition. I mean, right now Ziggy is only like 1 ahead. And this is like one of the things that like it's going to be struggling a little bit during it's like coming to the mid or late game, because even if Ziggy there would be able to just like usually reflect Ziggy this, I don't know. Harper is playing a rare auto scry, so I don't know if there's like anything else special for the Sigisma coming into the play. Even if they're coming to be like so much characters out into the play, it's still like the fact that then Sigisma actually start to struggling a little bit. And because always needs to put like that many to actually also to going to into the progress, because even if the characters are cheap, they're also not providing almost like the highest stats, and most of like the other factions can just like countering it with like a single character and being like, okay, hey, play your 3 characters, I just like play 1 out and then boost it and then that's it. But we see the Monolith or the Bastion coming out, that's like super cool to see. So let's see if there's like a removal. I mean, the Fox, not working. It's not working, but
not work against that, and it does leave the option to double advance here for the Lindaway. What I'll be curious to see if there are any bigger permanent removals here in the Lindaway deck list. There were a few different permanent removals added in Whispers from the Maze, so I think that's why we've seen a little bit of the prevalence of Sigismar deck lists going without permanents in some cases. I know some still use Monolith, some still even use Grand Endeavor, which I think kind of went out of popularity a little bit after the rule change as far as check victory, instead of just immediate continuous victory checks. But still a good card. I think I'm still using Monolith, or at least trying it out in my Sigismar deck lists. It's obviously really good, especially if you can get it out early on like day 2 or day 3 and still not be far behind, because you can just take advantage of boosted everything and try to overwhelm your opponent, and by the time they are able to remove it, you're already too far ahead and they can't stop you, kind of thing. But should be interesting to see if Lindaway is able to deal with the Bastion sooner rather than later. But at the moment, we'll have to deal with a Sabotage hitting the second Fair Fox that they have.
Yeah.
But unique Izmir Stargazer coming out here.
This is like super crazy. Those Stargazer uniques have like potentially two stuffs that actually going to be played out. I mean, this is like a double draw basically, right? Because it does sacrifice a character, draw a card, random sacrifice, draw a card. And this is like most of the times that those Stargazers as like the uniques, if it's coming to play, going to be provided, it's like either resupplying or just like draw a card. And I feel like this is okay, because I feel like if Lindy is going to play uniques, it's always like, I mean, it's like one of the like, I'm playing like a big boy, it's sacrificing and doing like boosting something. Or it's like one of those cheap ones that basically just like a hold placer of like, I have another way to sacrifice something, or just like to getting sacrificed, so I can provide that. And as we can see, it's working, and okay, it's going for the Izmir nurse, but this is also some interesting.
Yeah, haven't seen the Izmir nurse being played yet. Granted, I haven't seen very many Lindaway deck lists, so I don't know if those have been added. But cool card there, deciding to sacrifice the Maw to potentially try to get an advance, but has to deal with the boosted up Monolith Legat, who is going to stall out that side at the moment. Unless the Lindaway decides to sacrifice and let the Sigismar advance so they don't get a Sabotage potentially. And that's what they are going to do. So they're going to sacrifice itself, let the Sigismar advance, won't get a Sabotage, but gives up a double advance. Not sure how worth it is. I guess you gotta take the downside of that to get another draw and hopefully find the answers here with having a lot of cards in hand and the Sigismar not having quite as many.
Yes. So.
Handy doing some polls in the chat for everyone.
Yeah, it's like I want to get you those XP points, guys. So no, but yeah, you're right.
Lot of diverse options that you can pick from too.
I mean, it's like, let's be real. I can listening to this stuff, like it's a 10-hour version, guys. And when we did like the daily stream on my channel as Team HSC, I've just like put a 10-hour version of the Oblivion soundtrack in the background. And I remember I was like to Keaton, yeah, at the first hour, I was a little bit like I was like, oh man, I wouldn't stop to listen to the music right now. But after 3 hours, I was wandering through Oblivion when I was not casting, just like watching on the screen. Paul is rigged. Nah, Arun. You need to. Actually, there is like the option of it's really good or really, really good, you know? So, I mean, what else should be there? But what we can see is right now the Monolith Legate is coming to be played, as well as an Order Spy is still there. And this is like cool, the Monolith Order Spectrum, because it's just like getting like the extra boost. And I feel like Lindy has potential cards, just like removing the Monolith Bastion, but it's like one of those cards that's like going to be super expensive. I mean, it's like a boom usually going to be played. I don't have like the deck list open. I also don't want to spoiler myself too much, just like guessing. But there are like some couple of cards that are going to be played. But I feel like for Lindy, the only option right now could be potentially a boom, because it's like always like the extra sets that coming to be out. So it's like super good for Haver right now.
Yeah, we do see a rare Ysmir Mothbreeder as well. Not another card that we've seen a lot of. It makes sense as far as being able to put the Moth out and only play an easy one-cost character to sacrifice potentially. So I see the value in that, similar to what we saw in like a rare Tooth Fairy that is able to sabotage and then from reserve is just one cost. But yeah, it's definitely a different type of Lindaway deck that I haven't seen, but isn't doing too bad. Just is having to deal with the Sigismar and this Monolith that is putting a lot of pressure on the board.
Yeah.
But is running low on resources at the moment. So we'll have to see how that pans out for the Sigismar, if they're able to win before they run out of everything completely, whether it be in hand or in reserve.
I mean, what we can see right now, this state is like totally fine for the Sigismar, because it's just like a 1-for-1 trade. Nothing else could be like potentially due to go against it. And also with the Monolith Legate right now, it's going to be able to just like discarding a card from the reserve, what is also sometimes just like really helpful. I mean, right now, potentially, if it comes like to the Nurse or like the Moth Briefer is a good card to target, because it's just like a 1 cost that's going to be played out. So it's also like a super cool option when it's played out from the reserve to just like sacrifice it and then to get in like something additional with Lindy. So choosing over that. Also, always like super cool to choose like the cheap version, so that like the Lindy, if it comes to play something out from the reserve, needs to play the Nurse right now. So I feel like the Sigismar is still being like in a good spot, but as you can see, just like resource-wise, Lindy is building up more and more and more, just like with the hand cards. So I feel like the Sigismar needs to hurry up a little bit at least to make sure it's going to be working.
Yeah, only has 2 advances away from potentially taking the game, so not in too bad of a spot. Still only has 3 cards in hand, so we'll have to see if that is enough for them to take this game. Up against the new variation here of Wesh's Lindaway. And we will see a unique Ordis Trooper that when another non-token character joins your expeditions,
Crazy.
if you control 3 or more characters, create 2 Ordis recruits in my expedition. So it's a double token generator, but it will get hit by the hunger.
Yeah, but even if the hunger is going to be played out, I mean, right now, it could be just like a Licensed Thrive Troll to going to be replace it, as well just like any other cards going to be onto, oh, that's super cool with the Orders at Tony, because any other card on the companion side can just like close it out. And oh, there's also just like the Orders recruit that's coming up for the next round. But I mean, Lindy is getting closer and closer, and another hunger could potentially also maybe do the game at some point. But there's like not much now.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
considering how things have been going, being in a spot as the Lindaway player to just get a 2-0 to win the game is definitely not bad. They do have to deal with the fact that the Sigismar just needs one singular advance to take it, but the Lindaway does have the card advantage in hand, so it could go either way at this point from my view.
Yeah. But it's this super, super cool for Sigismar right now with the Odyssey Tony as well as that. I mean, also to see the Hangar here, it's like, but I feel it's like a super cool card. But I feel like the most potential with the Hangar, I've saw personally with Asadi, and because there are like so many ways to just like make the Hangar looking much more stronger. Like for example with the Acolano Milk, giving it also fleeting when it's entering, and then you have just like a gigantic super boosted character out there, as well as with like some other similar cards that just like buffing out the almost also like good effect from the Hangar. So super cool to see. Like also an expensive card like that is going to be kind of like a meta card at some point. This is super cool to see.
Yeah, we'll have to see how things start out here with Wesh. Obviously, they could go with the Hunger play if they so choose, but probably not going to with the amount of cards that they have in hand. And I don't think Gigantic is going to be enough to prevent the Sigismar from advancing. But we'll have to see how they decide to start things off, and it will be with a Katagir and Alchemist in a common variety, not a card that, again, I have seen very much being played of as of late, especially in the common setup. It makes sense, though, to be able to play it from reserve for one cost, but I don't know if it's going to be enough here to stop the Sigismar.
What we can see now, the Aegis Templar is going to be played out again, and oh, I mean, with the Beauty Sleep, maybe something is going to get activated now. Maybe this Beauty Sleep will help, especially if there's like any other Beauty Sleep for one cost just like sitting there. But Sigismar got 3 hand cards left for 6 mana, so there's like a potential high chance that the Sigismar can close it out with that. So we see the Odyssey Journey is coming up to the play, and this is like a super cool setup from Heifer right now, because it seems like that actually with the okay, now there's like the Dorothy is also coming in, and you may sacrifice.
Yeah, unique Dorothy Gale from hand. You may sacrifice a character. If you do, you may send target character to reserve with hand cost 3 or less. Then from anywhere, you may return target character with or permanent with hand cost 4 or less to its owner's hand.
This is crazy.
So that's a double removal, all for 4 costs, and just for the idea of sacrificing. So that's a really cool, unique coming from out of Wesh here, and still has 1 mana. So we could definitely be seeing another Beauty Sleep coming out here potentially as well. But my question is does the Sigismar player have something like a Rallying Call still in this deck list, or is it something that they decided to cut with potential interaction not being such a big deal?
Yes, but Rifted, yeah, it's just like not enough. I mean, hey, this is like a super crazy unique. The Dorothy, just like the double removal at this point, and also with the sacrifice, but sadly isn't enough. So congrats
close
to
game,
Hyper, but hey, it's a close game, and it's also just like a really special list that we see right now from Resh here with the Lindy. So super excited to see more of it if Resh getting to play it out more and more. And we still got like a couple of rounds left. Super cool.
Yeah, for sure. Give me 1 second. I want to go grab a water.
Yeah, sure. Okay, guys. So I know that Blue got his headset on. So, what can we do now, guys? Can we prank him a little bit as long as he is away? I mean, he's not listening during grabbing the water, right? Do you think he's doing it? I'm not sure. Maybe we can see what's like going be in the background of the chef. I see the Settlers of Catan, actually. One of my most favorite games. So actually, somehow Blue got something from Germany, just like in his bookshelf. Look at this, because this is like from a German developer. So this is super cool. I didn't know that. So what else can we see on the desk? I can see all this. Wait, can I make it? Oh no, it's like not working. I'm sorry, guys. I cannot zoom in. What else can we spec there. Wait, hold on. I need to make it like full. Oh. Look at this. Sitting on much displays here right now. I mean, there are like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 displays from Blue here. This is also like super interesting. But hey, as long as we're just like checking out what's like going to be in the background. Okay, guys, pretend we're watching a game. Oh, that was so crazy from Lights going to be played out that card on table 3. Welcome back, Blue. Oh, I can't hear you now.
I'm muted. But yeah, it's crazy. It's almost like I have a wireless headset too.
Oh! Actually, it's like interesting what's going on. I remember like the Settler of Catan wasn't there like when I was last time like streaming with you. The Settlers of Catan.
Yeah,
like the red one.
I thought it was there. Maybe it wasn't. Who knows?
Yeah. Because guys,
either way.
If you don't know, the game was finished actually, so we can join another table.
Okay.
And table 11 if we want, because there's like K by name. Also, I know the name, but Sorikuro, I don't know that name yet. I never heard of that before. But it's another Cojo going to be smashing an Izmir player. Now, actually, the Settlers of Catan is like one of my most favorite board games ever.
Oh, really?
But yeah, but I also feel like if it comes to board games in Germany, then this is like the El Clasico, because it's from Germany, the game. So this is like one of those like, yeah. You played it at least once if you played like any board games in Germany. Then in a family you played it at least once. I feel like
it's a requirement then.
It's a requirement. Without that, you're not a board games player. If you consider it to be one. Yeah. Trust me.
If you live in Germany, you have to play Catan.
Yeah, you have to play Catan.
You heard it first.
No, it's just like Catan, Wizards, games like that. Like, also, do you know Wizard, the card game?
Yeah, that sounds familiar. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's cool. So it's coming to getting closer and closer. I mean, this again is like an interesting Akisha list right now.
We also see a Theseus on the Cojo, which I have not expected to see on a Cojo list other than maybe an Atsadi list, maybe, but definitely not Cojo. So interesting to see someone use that for removal. We do have a unique Order Spy being played as well, where you can put your card from hand into the reserve if you do Sabotage, and then you can also, up to one target character gains fleeting from anywhere. So really good spy.
Yes, and it also seems like with that, Cojo wants to make sure it's going to be into an end at some point. Also, it's like discard a card from the reserve, target character gains front boost, and characters you control other than me also have tough run. This is like interesting effect, because I know some uniques that are going to have this effect, but I don't see like that many uniques going to be into the play to give like the additional tough one for like all the other cards going to be placed down. But I feel like against Akisha, it's not looking that bad. But oh, here we go, the Hanger. Just like destroy the whole game plan. Super sad.
Yeah, especially for a Braavos player.
Yeah. Because
you're running into a scenario now that you're completely out of resources.
Yeah.
You'll draw 2 cards here, so you probably aren't good at mana, but your opponent is going to get at least one is now in the setup here to potentially 2-0 on the following day and take the game away from you. So it'll definitely be interesting to see what the Cojo is able to draw, and they will be on a non-Buddha turn here as well, so won't even be able to rely on Buddha to give them some stats on the board in the companion zone.
Yes, that's true. And I feel like right now with that was painful for Cojo. That is like super painful. I feel so sorry for Cojo. I feel so sorry. Oh man, because I feel like if this is like going to be start, then actually a point of returning, I don't feel so. Also just like because the Hanger now can getting gigantic, and usually with that, and also the Akisha can use the FTU, so there's like not a chance to play around for that. I feel like that's it for K by name. Right, that's a shame. Also just like mentioning in chat.
Yeah, it's
and
gonna be rough. Oh, and it
happens
to have a Baku too. Oh my gosh.
Painful. That is painful.
Who uses Baku still? But
only if you want to hurt your opponent. Hanger X Barcrew, this is just like a full emotional damage right now coming up here to the Cojo. I hope you can recover from that K by any name. But this is like, it's also just like hurtful to watch. Oh, yeah.
I got my dog trying to get pets here. Here, let me pick you up.
Oh, guys, we see the dog. Yes. Oh, look at this.
Say hi.
Hello, Blue Dog. Hello. Oh,
alright, I'll let you down now.
Guys, if this dog could talk right now, he could just like expose Blue what is going on on all those screens.
Yeah.
Oh, and so we only got like one on that 3 table left. Puppy reveal. I mean, when you also did your puppy reveal, did Cole actually did it already? I know Cole also has a dog, but
yes? Cole's shown this, yeah.
Oh, it's interesting.
I don't know about on stream, but
on stream, yeah, I mean on stream.
Just yeah, like I don't know about on stream.
I'm also not sure. I know like you did it now and Rune did it, and I don't know any other streamer right now from our team that has like a pet. Beside Cole, actually, has a pet. So yeah, I just like jump into A.W.O.L laser. It's like one of the lower tables.
Lower table? Okay.
Yeah, against Raspussy.
I see it. There we go.
Actually, during that, because the Rhapsody is going to be in overtime, I need to say something. Actually, when I was last week on my locals, I was super prepared for playing some Order-Red, right? But all our Order-Red players left for a new TCG that had like his release, and it was Gundam. If you know that, like this Roboter series. I also got like some decks because I just like the franchise, right? And there's like a really sad thing, and this is like because of Order-Red. Every time I play another TCG, I don't have actually like fun after round 3, because then I'm always like, Order-Red is doing it so much better with the gameplay. It's just like a different gameplay. It's just more like in one piece, but it was still a super cool experience. And what I actually liked about it was like the cards looked so amazing. But maybe I'm just like missing default cards and booster packs in general before ordering them for myself. Maybe this is like the thing that I've missed so much. But this is like looks really good. But I was just like joining in the store, and then everyone was like, yeah, grab a starter deck, we're playing this now, Pandy. And I was like, guys, I prepared a whole deck like before I got to here. You cannot do that to me. And they were like, but Gundam, big robots, boo 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 boo. And then I was like, oh no. Is it starting like that? No, but actually, it was a cool, if my camera were working, I would show you like my cool robots that I've trot out, because they did like something really special. You can actually get like a whole foiled starter deck, just like by buying it. So you have like a rare chance that your whole starter deck that you got is like foiled and full art. This is like, and actually someone got it. If the read gets flagged, Pandy owes me 20. No, Cole, it's not get flagged. I know that because I've uploaded my videos too with the Oblivion soundtrack. It not got flagged, both of them.
But the secret is anytime that Pandy streams on A.W.O.L, all the videos get flagged because he plays music in the background that you can't actually hear, but somehow YouTube picks it up. And
okay, that's crazy.
And copyrights it.
I copyright my own voice.
I was looking through all the VODs, and I was like, why are we having copyright notices? And it was you just playing music in the background on your things that I had no idea. And I couldn't even hear it, but somehow YouTube found it.
That's crazy. Because I'm always double checking, because on my own videos I'm using like the same music. They're never getting like copyright striked. I know like from one video, but it was like because the playlist got stopped, and then there was like an additional song for like 4 seconds after I realized, and then it just like the whole video got copyright, not only like the 4 seconds. And I was like, okay, YouTube, I get it. I will take more focus. But then, okay, that's super surprising. There's what don't have music go on VODs. I mean, it's like not a VOD, it's like a live stream, right? So now I know what you mean.
Though.
Yeah, I know what you mean. But Oblivion is fine. Oblivion is fine. I checked it. Like 20 hours of footage is on my channel with that.
Yeah, everyone's interested in Gundam, but I'm permanently avoiding anything Bandai related because
I can understand it.
They make pretty cards, but I can't.
Yeah, it's just like about the cards. I feel like the cards are like just like super awesome, but if it like comes to gameplay, then still like order it. It is just like to play. It always feels like super fun. Yeah.
We do have an interesting game going on
Yes.
here. We did have the Sierra up and use a big Blizzard play, but we do get a unique from the Gold Ring player, where you can spin a counter from a card you control. If you do, create 2 Ordis recruits, and then from reserve, if you have 10 or more mana orbs, send a reserve target character with hand cost 4 or more, actually. And that will be enough for them to potentially 2-0 here and try to mount a comeback.
Yeah. That's true. So it's getting closer and closer. Actually, Crow mentioned Riftbound from League of Legends. And this is funny because basically you can play already the whole game online on Tabletop Simulator. Because the people, like the whole cards got revealed. And so you can play it before like the release. This is like, I never saw it before for a card game. They were just like full ham with the release. And then someone was like, yeah, I will implement it into this TTS. And I was like, oh my goodness. I never saw that from a TCG before. But hey, at least you can play it before it's going to be released. But it's like super cool. But what we can also see now is super cool. But it's like a lot of cards that actually Go right now is losing from the reserve. And this can be painful for Go Ring at some point.
Yeah, we'll have to see. I won't be playing Riftbound. Well, I might play it if someone else gives cards. I'm not going to buy Riftbound cards because I'm not going to cheat on Altered. All you cheaters out here just admitting to playing other card games. What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? Either way, we did get a double advance here from the Gundam Gold Ring, we'll have to see how that pans out for them. They will not get the benefit of having the Mesquite being behind at some point, but it is currently tied. Yeah. So it will be, at least for now, a benefit for them on both expeditions. Now the question is whether they can get another 2-0 and prevent the Sierra from taking this game.
This is a good question. I mean, actually I realized I never saw the unique version of the Ordis Dispatcher. This seems it's a really cool card. It seems super good. Also the effect. I mean, Rifted right now, if we see like the Ordis Dispatcher as well as the field reinforcements. Oh, okay, Rune asked me a question. I can answer that later on. With the field reinforcements, so there are like potentially many chances right now for the Go rank to take over that. But also Sierra, if right now we can see there's only actually one whole hive being played out, so there's still like the chance for our Sierra as well to just like also build up maybe another hive to survive an additional round, then taking over to it. And Rune, I mean, it's up on everyone, but I would always time out. It's like, I don't know. I mean, it's okay, it can happen, also on mobile phone especially, but it's just like it's not about the player, but it's about BGA. It's like running it like that. It's like super crazy. I mean, we saw records with this overtimes. I think this is the only stuff because it's just like taking longer for everyone that needs to raid. So I would of course using it. I mean, of course. So, but seeing Sierra, I mean, thinking right now, but what can you do? Okay, yeah, you can play the Frozen Delivery. That's a potential card. What do you think about Overtime, Blue? Oh, you're muted. I can't hear you.
Okay, yeah, overtime time.
Yeah.
A lot of permanents here for the Sierra player.
Yeah.
But we'll have to see if that is gonna be even beneficial from closing out this game, because at this point it just looks like the Gold Ring player is just going to be able to knock things out. But we do see a unique Foundry mechanic where a robot joins your expedition. If you control a token, I gain 2 boosts. Will it be enough though? I don't know. Maybe.
Yes. So your thoughts about the overtime rulings, stuff like that?
Just in general, or what are you talking about?
Yeah, just like in general. So, first of all, would you kick road someone out if it's like being in overtime, or would you just like let the time going to be? What type of player are you, Blue?
Oh, you mean like if I'm gonna be like a real like stickler about it, like kick him out. I'm tired of him.
Yes.
Get out of here.
Kick him. 2 seconds overtime. Kick him.
That's it. I don't know. I think it depends on the situation.
Okay.
But I can't say for sure it's going to be one way or another. But
Okay.
I see both sides. I see both sides. Let's see here.
I mean, the only thing... Okay, maximum time is reached, guys. So, congrats to Gurang. Taking over to it. So, let's just like return to the main page. And with that, we're going to be into round 3 for the A.W.O.L week 6. Together you can see right now Blue as well, me, Paandyandy, going through it with you on this amazing Monday evening. So for us, we have like a super good weather outside. How is this in your place? You have a good weather, bad weather? How is it? Is it warm, sunny?
It's actually been really warm out here lately. Okay. I was doing some stuff for work where I was actually down in the Mojave Desert, and it was 110 degrees Fahrenheit, which I'm not sure how much that is Celsius. Let me do a quick check here.
Mojave Desert. Oh, Mojave?
Yeah, Mojave.
Desert.
So it was about 43 degrees Celsius.
Oh, that's crazy. What are you actually working, Blue? I never asked you that.
It's a secret. I'm not going to tell.
It's a secret. Oh, sorry. It's a secret. Oh, sorry. It's okay. But being in the desert,
you can put things together, maybe.
I mean, that sounds totally like an Area 51 worker.
Exactly.
Exactly. Yeah. So no, that's cool. Being in the desert, that's crazy. I never went in the desert actually, like anywhere.
Oh yeah.
I never went to one of that.
All right. Did we pick another game yet that we can take a look at?
Oh yeah, we can take a look to basically. Let's see. Maybe we can go to table. Oh, there's actually a team battle going on. Aircraft against Melissa Deck? Or Melchisa Dash? On table 35. Maybe this is interesting to watch.
Alrighty.
Also, Aircraft, wasn't it the winner of Season 2 Invitational?
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, okay. Amazing. Knew that. Blue's Breaking Bad. Oh, Gastebus. Okay, I got it.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm Heisenberg.
You're Heisenberg. That's why you're always hiding your. Okay, I got it. Oh man. So, actually, I would love to tell you guys what is going to be my job, but actually, I'm switching my job on right now. I'm switching. I'm switching like my working place. Totally.
Oh yeah, what are you doing?
I'm going into like more of sales things. So I was like the kindergartner, as I told before, right? But it's like a little bit struggling right now here in Dresden, especially because we have like the double amount of children, but not like the double amount of like employees for them. So you're being like almost solo, and this is like super hard right now. And I was like, as long as it doesn't not change. I mean, guys, maybe you could try out the challenge 1 week with more than 16 plus children every day alone. So have fun with that. It's not that cool, I can tell you. And so I was like, maybe I would change and going to like a store that I totally like to also just like buying for myself there. And it's like a small store, so still like you have like the social interaction. Because I always wanted to try how it is to sell stuff, basically. So I'm super excited for that. I don't know which store from one of the both that I've applied to would it be at the end. But I'm super excited to do that. And let's see, maybe it will change.
Maybe it'll be a winner.
Oh, the A.W.O.L. Always a good card, but the only real A.W.O.L player for me is Lynchburn, because it was the first person that invented the A.W.O.L in the Cojo list. But hey, a lot of people also going through doing that now. But it's also interesting to see the team in a mirror matchup with Cojo. Feels like Aircraft playing against his students. Or maybe Aircraft was the student after all. We don't know, guys, but hey.
Yeah, it's fun to see the A.W.O.L come out in the Cojo setup. I think it's one of the reasons why I like Asira so much lately as far as Braavos players, but I do also like the Daedalus out of faction that we just saw go to the discard pile as well.
Yeah.
Big fan of that card, being able to scout itself and also just getting some boosts for Braavos. Almost like it better in Braavos than I do in Lyra.
I mean, I've tried out Braavos, but
not a fan.
Nah, it's like I don't know. I cannot. Somehow it's like not my playstyle. I feel like so. But I was always just like in love with Traced and Fen actually at the beginning, and just like played out Sigisma because it was just like a self-driving car for me. So I played that. But it's also just like when it comes to fun play, then it's like Traced and Fen. But Fen is a little bit struggling right now, so I'm playing Traced a lot. It's not the reason that I've got the Anansi's way before the finals for like €5 or something like that, guys. It's not that. It's because I'm always like a Traced enjoyer before that.
he knew it was coming. He heard from Runefolk that the Trace was going to be the big play these days.
Actually, I bought it like during the finals, so
I'm
honest, guys. I bought it during the finals. I was just like going to the marketplace and did the deal before everyone else. And actually, it was funny because after the finals, just like a couple of hours, the prices went like increased to like I would say almost 1000%. So €5 cards was at some point 250 almost every card that has like not a sacrifice stuff, and I was like, oh my goodness, what's happening? And inflation hits hard. But as you can see now, what's also going to be hitting hard is like how the Cojo is going to be managing this game. I mean, what we can see right now actually decides to keep the Skadi with that, even knowing there is like not a potential threat to exhaust the card. It's like super interesting. But maybe just like there's like a solution for that. Intimidation play on Mass. Oh yeah, that was also a super crazy play. To see that out. And okay, the Mighty Jin is coming up. But I feel like even with that, the Mass potentially can just like play out again. But we see the Mighty Jin going to play. Oh, okay.
Mighty Jin for Mighty Jin time.
Oh, that's interesting. But now there are like not any hand cards left for A-Craft or a bottom Cojo. And it's just again a 1-for-1 trade here. But it's actually just like the fact that Melchisa?
Dude, I like the way you're saying it.
Thank you. How would you say that? I cannot like...
his name?
Yeah.
It's French, right? So it's got to be something accenty. I would have just said Melchus or Melchus.
Melchus?
I don't know. I'm probably
Can
wrong.
you say it like that? Melch?
It probably could be Melch.
Melch. You know, it's like the first trial task like for every German. If you're seeing like an English person, like American person, Plug, say Spritzbeutel.
What?
Spritzbeutel.
I can't even try to attempt to say that. Spritz.
Yeah. That's super cool. Like back in the days, when I was like leading youth camps, we had like an American sports camp with like a lot of Americans, and this was like always the first task if it's going to be on stage task to say like to the Americans, say some German words out loudly, and then the best one got like the point always, and it was like super fun. But there was like a secret American that actually got like German roots for the family, and so the family basically speak German, and then he was like perfectly saying out those words. You were like, wait, there's a this was like some of Among Us stuff. There was like, hold on, why can you speak it so good? But yeah, Spritzbeutel. It's like the stuff where you, if you're making like a cake, for example, and you want to add like something on the cake, and then you press it, and then the stuff came out. I don't know how to say it in English, the word. Yeah, this is it.
Okay.
Yeah.
But to pull it up. I'm
Piping
sorry
back,
for everyone that
piping back.
when I was looking up into the stars again, I was making a meme based off of Cole saying that he's poly TCG. that I think is hilarious that I just sent to him. I posted it in the chat, but I don't have it saved to like online setup. Here, let me see if I can just save it to.
It's pronounced
is Imgur still a thing? It is, right?
Yes. So we see it's going to be closer. Actually, I asked Google Translator how to say Melchizedek, and it's like
Melchizedek.
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 Melchizedek. You know what? I will use Google Translator if I don't know the name of a person, and then I will just like, guys, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Google. But actually, to see that A.W.O.L somehow managed to getting closer and closer. I mean, the hunger right now could be again like a potential help for our upper culture, but I feel like that A.W.O.L also will just like belonging hunger.
Yeah, we see like how many hungers have we seen thus far for this A.W.O.L?
Like almost every round we saw one at least.
Whether it's Braavos or Izmir, we've seen multiple hungers. Hungers is just the meta dominator at this point, right?
At this point, it's true. It's like super interesting to see that. I mean, right now, it's like also crazy that like the upper culture, Melchizedek, got to have like Melchizedek, got to have like 3 mana more. So there's also like the potential chance of just like playing out the hunger as well, like any additional card with that. So let's see how this will going to be out. And it's actually also the first player. And oh, we see the first, no, not the first unique. Oh, it's the first. Actually, it's the first unique, yes. I gain 1 boost per fleeting characters if you receive this anti-sabotage or exhaust target card. That's good. Because this Haven could potentially just like block out the companion side by being played, almost.
I wonder why I guess he's probably trying to save up on the hunger or trying to avoid removal for the hunger. He still has 7 mana to be able to be played here. Or maybe even a 1 cost from hand before playing the hunger. Really curious to see how this one's going to turn out. Has to kind of wait things out a little bit because the bottom Cojo could just take the game here if the hunger's played incorrectly. We do see a Braavos Excavator, not a card that I've seen played quite as much in the Cojo decks, but I do know Starshine Simon has got to do that reveal for that card, I believe.
Oh yeah, that's true. I just like I cannot like the artwork is scaring me off a little bit. I don't know why. I don't actually know why. Because maybe it's like had like those strong colors like in general compared like to the others, like that the I don't know how to say it in English. Like it's like colorful, but the colors are like being stronger. How can you explain it like in English? Like the color scheme is like stronger, like into the eyes, just like everything. Like the green is like super strong, also the shadows. But I don't know. Like in German, I could explain super good, guys. Maybe
like saturated.
Yeah, yeah. That's like yes. This could be like that, but it's also like if like with Merlin, the card Merlin from Izmir, also have like the same way of like this, or like this the fruit card from Braavos, and with like the fruit on it. It's like we have a winner.
Yeah, we do see A.W.O.L end up losing that one. The hunger was just too strong coming from the gigantic setup here. So congratulations to the teammates there, getting to play each other. A nice little Cojo mirror matchup. Be interested to see how similar their deck lists are. But yeah, still around 3. Can take a look at some other games. We'll scroll down to the bottom, I think, and see if there's anyone that we haven't taken a look at. How
do you see, like, a name?
I don't know. Let's do table 48. Why not? I don't know.
48 John against ATP Asashi. Okay. And ooh, a t-shirt coming out against another culture. What a surprise!
Don't see a lot of Tajas these days. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, it's like super hard for Tasia right now in the meta to just like fit in with all those removals. I mean, the Spindlemuna Bastion being like the strongest card to prevent it, but if this card is getting removed, it's like hard for a teacher to stabilize the board with like anything. I mean, beside the earlier Loki deck, that's like
now would be a good time to hunger if the Cojo has it.
That's true. It's just like the hunger. It's true.
Come on, just play it. You got 5 cards in your hand. You gotta have hunger. Come on. No, spy.
Strongest doesn't even have tough 2. I mean, cool. Grand Endeavor is also good. Okay, I get it. Strong. Oh, did I say strongest cards? I mean, one of the good cards for Muna right now in the meta. Okay. You know, like those things. But it's always good to hate Sigisma. It's okay. always good to go to play Sigisma. So, oh, we see the Floor Gardener actually coming to be played out. I mean, it's like a super cool card to keep in reserve with every time the boost it's coming to be around. But it seems like that with the 2 hand cards left, is there a chance of actually from the t-shirt to close it out? I don't know.
It's possible. This depends on what the Cojo has at this point. It feels like they should have enough, right? To at least go 1 for 1. Yes. But we'll have to see. They'll probably have some issues trying to remove cards if they have any removal because of the tough 2. But well, don't even know if there's something in particular they want to remove at this point because nothing's really anchored. Yeah. But they do have 4 cards in hand, and I imagine we'll be seeing one of them opposed to that rare Tooth Fairy, which doesn't look like too good of a play for 2 cost.
Yeah, and we see actually playing out the Intimidation for, I guess, for the Trakina. But with that, the only 1 cost right now that can save that is the Isumbushi. It's like the
and even then, they'll be able to play something else too. And yeah, I think this is just going to be about it. And Tasia's going to be taking this one.
I feel like right now, with the Trakina as well, it's super interesting, but maybe there are like not any other options left in hand, so that's it for that. So GG. I mean, Asashi is typing and clapping. I never saw this clap emote before the GG. I will remember that. That emote. So congrats on that. We still got like a lot of games going on right now, so let's see what else we got left. I mean, where we can take a look at is on Table 20, Wild Marco against Walter 030.
Let's do it.
Never heard the name before, and Walter being a German player. Oh, that's interesting. And playing Trace. Good choice. And
Trace versus an Itzadi too.
Yeah, that's super interesting. And the effect from the Founding mechanics is just like super fun. It's just like draw a card.
Yep, just draw a card, and then you have the unique Sakurabu up top too. That is from hand if you control 1 or more landmarks. You send your opponent back, and then from anywhere you may put a card from your hand in reserve and draw a card. So not a bad unique, cool. But the Itzadi is in a bad spot right now.
Yeah, totally agreeing on that. I mean, the Mighty Chain could potentially just like save out maybe like the companion side with that, but with 5 mana left, I mean, there are like good chances to go into that spot. And super interesting, but I feel like the Trace could manage that out. Also like the double progression. Okay, with the Havner. And I mean, what potential you could play out, but I think it's like not a double progression, right?
It depends on what they have. There's some pretty big stats on the board for the Itzadi.
Yes.
Obviously, just playing the Vike won't be enough to advance on the companion side, but they are going to play a bug fix. Okay.
Oh boy.
So that will be enough to advance and block on that companion side.
Yeah, that's true.
So that may just be what they're looking for. Or they could just play bug fix again if they wanted to, but I don't think they want to. The Vike has to be out. I forgot about that. But yeah, either way, they get what they need here and only get one advance from the Itzadi and leave themselves one advance away from taking this game.
Yes.
Putting the Itzadi realistically in a pretty rough spot.
Yeah, that's true. So it's just like one expedition left. I mean, we know like especially Itzadi with like all those sparkle effects with like the hangar can actually just like turn around the games if wanted to. I mean, we just like need to compare. It's like 12 mana against 8 at the end, and with 12 mana there's like a lot of stuff that an Azadi can potentially do. So this is like one of the things that needs to be considered still. But actually, if there's like the rare chance of that Azadi got like nothing, then to see how it's going on. But Trace only one expedition left, so hey. And also with the Frozen Delivery got a lot of like small pass-bys with 1 mana pass-bys, so can just like play around it maybe. But let's see.
Yeah, I'd be curious to see if we have any more like Eat Me Energy Bar Sakurabu setups for the Itzadi to set themselves up. They are ahead in both mana and card advantage, so it could just be, they could be not out of it at the moment, but I mean, unless they have something to send them back, then I feel like the Trace can kind of just overload one side potentially and take the game. But we have seen some Itzadi deck lists do quite well, even at the French qualifier recently, right? So never know what's going to happen there. Is there any particular player coming up from the SN qualifier that you think is going to take the whole thing?
Oh, I mean, it's like for the German players, especially if I would look into that first of all, because it's like the SN qualifier, right? This is like a super hard spot. I mean, for example, Swordinator managed to get top 16 with Fan back in Dutch, and is also one of those rare German players that actually always managing to be at least top 20 in the like ladder ranked list, right? So I feel like this could be something, but if it's like coming to a whole, it's like there are like not that many German players actually that playing online constantly on online tournaments, so that I could rate it. I mean, of course I would wish that, I mean, Freeloader is like not someone from Germany, but still from the DACH region, right? And so I feel like maybe Freeloader is getting it. I would also call like Runefolk could potentially play Raru, but sadly Runefolk decided to. I mean, it's not sadly. Wait, I should use another word. Sadly, he's not playing because he's actually casting with me together there on plays. So it's like super hard. I mean, we have like some German players doing really well, but it's like it's like in general, it's like the lack of like online presence, I would say, to actually make a call for me. If it comes down to my locals from the players, I feel like Overloss with the growing at least have like a good chance to get at least top 32. I mean, if it's like coming to that, but sadly only top 8 qualifying have a chance to actually play for the qualifiers after the top cut, right? So, and with that, and knowing that some from Ordered Aces is coming, some from the neighbor, that already being like on top spots, I'm super scared a little bit.
And we do see an Eat Me Energy Bar and another unique Sakurabu being played here. And it's going to be the good old-fashioned send them back that I was mentioning before. And you can also, if you control one or more landmarks, you send target character to reserve. So could completely remove one of the cards here and get a double send back.
Yeah, that's like super crazy. I think this is like an illegal combo with the Cool. I didn't know that you're being the best German player.
But I mean, hey, but seriously, is Freeloader playing?
Yeah, he's playing.
Sweet.
Best German player is even German. Finally is playing.
Finally, the Swiss are leaving their homeland and getting out there and playing.
I mean, it's not that far away. To be honest.
Yeah,
like,
but they but they still don't. They're still not doing it. Has Freeloader ever came out there?
No, my first in-person event, Freeloader. I mean, Switzerland is also like super duper it's like super beautiful there. So I mean, I lived there and I didn't had like any reasons to leave even during my holidays, because I just like went to any mountain that's being there and you have like the most beautiful landscape overall. So I can understand your Freeloader for not leaving the So I mean kohlrabi. Okay, Cole, you got me. You got me with that. Yeah. Also, like, Keelan isn't coming here, so Freeloader is one. But I don't know, like, any Swiss player, beside from the French-speaking side of Switzerland, that played, like, in any regionate. But it's also just, like, the fact that there's, like, still no POD and other stuff, like, coming in Switzerland. So it's hard to being in person if you not have, like, I mean, Freeloader is, like, being easy, being, like, near to the border of Germany. So basically you can just, like, delivering stuff on the border and then getting it. But if you're living, like, in the middle of Switzerland, oh, wait, German trains are extra traumatic. We have not that bad trains. I mean, they're not always, like, punctual, but they're, like, not that bad.
We do get to see an interesting play there with the Atsadi playing a Theseus with a scout to just send itself back and get a card draw off the Atsadi like, ability.
I don't want to talk about this combo. It's like a crazy combo. I mean, is there a chance to infinity combo at some point?
I mean, I think there's different things you can do. I think we saw at some point in, was it last season, where we saw a Cojo deck list that used Foundry, where it had the unique Ratatoskers that had an ability and it can send itself back to hand constantly. I forget who was playing it, but it was a more well-known French player where it had a bunch of unique Ratatoskers with Foundry that they could activate an ability for, and then just recycle itself. And looks like he's just constantly going to keep on doing this with this Theseus until he can potentially last play here, especially being ahead at this point.
Yeah. Actually, it's like a crazy interaction for Atsadi, always when I feel like to seeing that, because it's like one of those things that actually Atsadi can use to pass by. Also reflect the entire of mana, because basically a 2 cost for Atsadi at some point is just like being a 1 cost. And the feel of like, but Trace this, starting to figuring out, okay. Okay, now we're talking about the Berlin city, the capital of Germany. Have fun, guys. I'm fine in Dresden, most and beautiful city out of Europe, so nothing can compare with that. So just saying,
is it?
My city. Oh, Dresden is like, I mean, I have always liked the story. When I was like with my class, we did like a tour through all of Europe.
Wait, 1 second. I just saw a milk come out, and there's 8 mana left.
It will be the hunger. Do you feel like that?
Yeah, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm seeing the setup. It's got to be hunger, right?
It will be the hunger for sure. I'm also not really sure.
Okay, you can continue now, but I just saw that, and we had to mention that.
So we had like a whole tour through Europe, and also through Switzerland for like 4 to 5 months. And we just like visit like a lot of capital cities, especially and countries, right? And every time we went like to a city, and also being like of, oh wow, we're going like to the older part of the city, like how do you call it in English? Like if it's like the old part of a city with like the older buildings. Is there like a special name?
I don't think there's a special name for it. I mean, just Old Town.
Old Town, yeah. So like the Old Town with like especially like for Europe, right? It's like it's like still like with it's like Old Town basically. It's like with if you have like sometimes the old castles, the building from the medieval to Renaissance, right? And every time we went on the city, always like they were like super excited, the people, also like those who were like not from Europe at all, or like from Middle Europe, like us, where we have like all those beautiful castles and stuff like that. I would say like personally, right? And I'm always was like standing there and was like, yeah, nah, it's okay. But Dresden, It's better, believe me guys. If we're on Trickster, it's better. And they're always saying like, okay, he's just like coping or something like that. That's like not true, because every time if I talk about Trickster, people still believe that it looks like from the old DDR, like where like Russia was like leading our country and everything was destroyed and stuff like that. Actually, people still believe it's looking like that here in Trickster, but it's like not true, right? And then when we came to Trickster, and I was just like giving a tour to our old town or town in general. Actually, my class came to me and they were like, yeah, we know why you have like this kind of high view from Dresden and cannot compare with other cities, because it's actually super beautiful, Andre. And I was like, yeah, I know, I live here.
Nice.
So I'm confident. I'm confident with my city.
Well, I'll have to remember that for the future there. But we do have some gameplay there. We did see the hunger happen, and then we just saw a response with the blizzard. Yeah. So nobody ended up advancing there, and we're just kind of get a reset and see if the Saudi can take this one with the major comeback. But yeah, I know everyone's mentioning the different things between the US and Europe, and one fun thing is that everyone always thinks that Americans don't know anything about the metric system, but if you think about it, our school system is really familiar with the 9mm. Yeah. But Simon, don't be mad. Anyway, let's talk about some altered. We see a mighty Jin come out here for the Saudi, trying to potentially take this one. Interesting that he put it on the companion side where he has absolutely no water. Makes me interested that he's possibly just going for a block there and not trying to just prevent the trace from getting any farther on the companion side. Yeah, that's totally true. So actually crazy that the trace managed to survive the hunger and just like playing everything out again. I mean, with that right now, it's still like the fact like potential another hunger could just like going to be played out again. So everything is going to be removed at this point, so I would take care of that. I mean, Mako right now is going to be in overtime, so maybe the time itself. Oh, talking about, it was time. Oh, Waldo used it. He actually used the overtime ruling. Look at this. Waldo ends up taking the game off the overtime, so good for him. I mean, it's okay, Waldo. It's okay. So we still got like 2 games left, as it seems, or maybe like 3 games now. It seems like only 2. Yes. Why are we still having games if they shut down that game? Actually, Water shut down the game by player road kicking. Is it allowed on a tournament? Yeah. He did it actually. It was neutralized, so it was like Water using this overtime ruling. Yeah, but usually you have to, either way. Yeah, so like 20 seconds and then kicked it out. It's unfortunate. So anyway, 24? Yeah, let's go to Alex Kidd against Aroni. So let's see. Oh, again a Goreng against an Aphonis. I mean, it's interesting to see also that many Goreng players going to be played here. Yeah, I've actually heard from some Aphonis players they really don't like this Goreng matchup on occasion. And sometimes even Sigmar players don't like it. I mean, I guess off-meta stuff can be a little bit hard to approach if you're not used to playing against it, but I think with this new set and Whispers from the Maze and getting familiar with it at this point, that you can probably have to learn to play the Goreng matchup and probably beat it fairly easy if you're able to get what you need. But right now, Goreng has everything they need in order to potentially just close out this game with a 2-0, having double Mesquitet. Yeah, that's true. It's just like, I mean, if this like one of those also sneaky Aphonis just like playing the Hunger, then it would be like totally crazy to see that. And at that point, I mean, we saw like some Aphonis right now. Also, I run recently some into the ladder with that. And that actually potentially just like play out one copy of Hunger to just like close it out. But it's like Alex Kidd just like decided to how to resolve the effect actually. And we can see it's going to be on the companion side.
I mean, with the Nylon Spirals actually being here, with that Aphonis just like potentially being able to put out a character already just like basically for free at this point, and using the Slate of Hand. Just, like,
we do. We do see a unique paper herald for the Gull Ring player as well. That when another non-token character joins your expeditions, create 2 Ortus Recruits, so it's another double Ortus Recruit token generator unique in the reserve for the Gull Ring.
Yeah.
So I'll be curious to see if they decide to play that here soon, or if they're trying to hold off and wait for removal from the Aphonis player. But we do see a rare Conjuring Seal coming out of Gull Ring, being able to use some of that card draw that we normally see from Aphonis.
Yeah. So we are going on to that, so...
And this is just the match of playing slowly, and we get the tournament maximum reached.
So,
who ended up winning?
Again.
Time. Gull Ring. Gull Ring wins.
Gull Ring wins, yeah. And so with that, we're going to be into round 4. So, I'm seeing Freeloader on the top table. That's cool. But beside that, do you want to still focusing on the middle to lower tables, or it's just like doesn't matter? I see an interesting matchup on table 37, Madbatu against Overlaws. That would be also interesting to
we may as well keep on doing that. We're still just in round 4, so we can probably look at the higher up tables in round 5 and round 6.
Yes, so there's still like one player missing, but this would be an interesting matchup to see, and it's going to be started. Actually, if like a desert is next to you, do you also have like some of like old town or like an old cowboy town? I don't know how to say it, like white western stuff.
Like an old western. Well, actually, the desert isn't really close to where I live. If you know anything about the state, obviously, the United States is pretty big.
Yeah, I know. At least
I live in probably one of the bigger states. And so I actually had to drive about 6 hours to get to that.
Yeah.
To where I was doing some work kind of thing. So it's not exactly close to me, but it's not really westernish out there either. It's just low population and really hot and dry and windy because it's all flat land.
Because I've started to watch the series Yellowstone. And so I'm totally into that right now. And I'm like, hey, this is like something that we cannot talk about here in Europe, about all those like old Western style, or just like those land style. I mean, in our Switzerland class, where I was in Switzerland, we had like someone that actually came not from the Washington DC, he came from the States, like the land side, and he was actually like a real cowboy, so he was actually living it. So he told me about stories of building off fences for 14 hours straight without anyone talking, climbing up mountains to save a cow and stuff like that. He was like actually a real cowboy, and I was always excited about it. From where I grew up, that's interesting, Cole. But this is like, that's why I'm always into it, because every time he was talking about like his life, and he was like 18 years old, I was like, that is so crazy, because compared to my city lifestyle, just like living in a big city, I was like, this is like a whole difference, and it was super cool. But actually we can also see who will make the difference here in the game. Zero against Akisha. Actually, interesting, Overlord is playing Zero because usually known for a Gull Ring, but he told me that he will want to keep his decklist secret until Essence, so preparing it for that. So quite small.
Yeah, don't mind seeing some Sierra gameplay then coming from him in the meantime.
Oh, that's crazy.
Rare Baku too.
Yeah, Akisha players wants to hurt someone with like all the discarding. That's crazy.
Hold on, Cole. You're telling me Yellowstone was filmed mostly in Montana? That must be for some particular reason.
Yeah.
Anyway, but yeah, there's a lot of cowboys. Cole probably sees more over in Texas than anybody. But there's like a lot of people that like wearing the hats and wrangling cattle and all that good stuff.
We may never know why. Okay, guys, you need to explain it after. I'm super interested in it. You seem to be a big Yellowstone fan here right now.
just look up Yellowstone National Park.
Oh. Is it? But it's not like a real serious like stuff like that. It's like actually existing.
Yeah, it's a park within the U.S.
But it's not like the Yellowstone Ranch existing like in real life, stuff like that. Oh, that seems super cool. Oh man, I need to come to America once and watch that. But this day, like America is too big to visit for like 1 or 2 weeks.
Yeah, you got to pick specific spots.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
To go to.
And wait, I can't watch the show because my ex is in it. Wait, Cole, what is this for a reveal now? This is like crazy. But okay, like explain it, chat, if you can. But that's like super crazy right now. Okay, that's like crazy. And as you can see, oh, like after the Barcrew, just like the True Fire will come out. And with that, right now, Overlords don't have like any cards left.
Yeah,
besides
really
the Frozen Delivery. But yeah. Kevin Costner? Right.
Was this like while filming with Yellowstone was going on, Cole, or was this like Waterworld era kind of thing? When were you guys together? Right. But yeah, like you mentioned, not looking good for the Sierra. They do run into that brass bug hive that we may get to see played here, as long as it doesn't get sabotaged. 2 years after Waterworld. Okay, so like basically at the height of everything, and you guys left them during that. That's impressive. Must have been real bad back in those days. But either way,
what's happening here?
just a bunch of memeing.
I was like actually being like looking into it. Waterworld, what is that for a movie? Maybe I should not watch that.
You haven't seen Waterworld? You gotta watch Waterworld.
Oh, okay, if you say so.
We do see that brass bug hive being played by Overloss on the Sierra. So now will come the time of can they come back, and they'll have to deal with the discard here coming from the Baku. So no more Avalanche.
I mean, it's like super hurting right now because I mean, still like with the brass bug hive, Overloss will be able to actually get at least 1 character per turn going to be placed on. We see the announcer right now that's going to have like the sacrifice a permanent conditioner. But right now maybe the A.W.O.L could be like
look at all those cards though for Kesha.
Kesha's like going to be into it, but I mean like the Barker as well as the True Fire did like a really good job into just like smashing up all the resources for our Zero right now. Actually, interesting to see Mad Matter here on Akisha, because also Mad Matter plays like also as well a lot of Raru back in the days into season 2 of like the letter and also some of the matchmakings, but not as Mad Matter as that Matter. So it's super interesting. We see another Pressback is coming out, and with 3 of them actually the Anansi could potentially going to be played out, but with that many cards, super interesting now.
Yeah, I mean, technically this year is still ahead. God, I need water. Technically this year is still ahead, but I mean, you're behind a lot on resources, so I can't be sure what exactly they can do here to close out the game. The only thing they can do is hope they get out a quick double advance here, and that the Akesha can't respond. We'll see that unique Anansi being able to sacrifice a permanent if you do a game 1 boost for each card in your reserve. So it'll just get the singular boost at this point, just to try to put as many stats as they can on the companion side.
Yeah. Oh.
But they get hit with the Pasiphae. That will get a boost per character target opponent controls. So I'm going to include the Sierra there, get a 3/3/3, and then throw out a Evanescence to lock up at least one side here.
That's like super cool right now, because with that, potentially being able and to see that Sierra actually going more and more down on resources, and now it's like to make the decision of like, hey, will I mana something, or will I keep those cards? Or if I mana something, then I'm relying on only one card and knowing that the Baku is going to be played maybe at some point, maybe again, because I don't feel like it's only like one version inside there. This is like super painful for this Zero because Akisha can just like potentially rate it out at this point. Also using the FTU, it's again a time that we see the Firefox coming out to play, and also knowing that Mad Matru as well as being like from the other red aces. I need to check like some of the Discord stuff that they're doing. Because maybe we're sleeping on this Firefox at some point. Maybe there's like a sleeping on that.
I mean, it is a solid character, like you mentioned, as far as just stats for 2/2, right? I just don't know if it's one of those things where you definitely want to use the rare slot for, but a lot of these Ysmir players have been able to do it. The Sierra player at this point trying to utilize that Brassbug Hive and the stats that they can put out here to potentially try to close out this game before the Akesha can utilize all those extra cards in hand to make a somewhat big comeback here on Tumult, but still have to figure out what they're going to play either from hand or from reserve, building up those counters on the Evanescence. I've played Evanescence a little bit, but also haven't played a lot of Ysmir lately, so it seems like that's been a pretty valuable card for folks that have decided they want to.
Oh, we're going to see the Killing Burst is going to be played out. And so the Firefox, we're going to be hit again. I mean, it's like interesting with like the lack of like hand cards and stuff like that, that actually still Overloss being able to manage just like progress through that and also being like ahead of that, thanks to the, especially thanks to the Brassbug Hive and maybe also like the other robots beside the Trilmo that we may be going to see with that. So this is like super interesting. What should I do tonight, guys? Oh, good question, Cole. I mean, what can you do in your town?
Stay home.
Stay home. Oh, that's good. That's a good guess. Play some Riftbound with Recall if you're being still up. I would be super cool with that. And we see the Categoran Alchemist again, just like Troaka.
That's a pretty card. I bet you that looks really pretty in person with like barely any text and almost full art. Oh boy, the effect is solid, but I really like just the full art idea and so little text.
Yeah, that's true. That's like super cool to see that. Those full art stuff. I mean, sometimes I feel like it's like super interesting how it's get like to be printed that way. Can't go carry a sword around downtime or a club. I don't know if this is like actually that free call, but I don't want to talk about your mindset of your Americans, so I'm also feeling really free without carrying my gun outside of anywhere, but hey, that's not floating like. Oh, crazy, that's cool. So, okay. Again, it's like super crazy that Overlord is somehow managing still to being like into that place right now of just like closing it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we see the next unique. You may return a spell. Okay.
We've seen a lot of that Brassbug Hive just being really utilized by the fact that we have a lot more robots available. And Sierra getting those boosts and just having too many stats here for the Akesha to deal with, despite having a lot of cards in hand for the past few days, but just not being able to deal with the overwhelming amount of robots coming from Sierra and putting them at a point of almost winning this game.
Another card? But with that, it feels like Sierra can't do anything against it at some point. I mean, with the Eversense right now, potentially could be able to. Oh, that's like super hard.
Yeah.
I don't feel like there's any chance for Mad Matru right now. Yes. And Overlord's actually taking it. That's super interesting. But it's also like how you can see like how much this Brassbug Hive can actually just like carry out those games. And that like having like more hand cards or just like more cards in reserve in general. Yeah, maybe sometimes it's not helping at all. That's cool. So good say. That's why I'm saying Ovolas can hit top 32. He also told that this is like his goal for Esna as well.
That's good.
Hit top 32. Yeah, we all as like almost all of our local players driving to Essen, except like Björn as the store owner. He needs to work sadly in the store, so can't drive with us there. And as someone else also just like not driving, but all others of us, seven people that's playing regularly together, we're driving to Essen, so this would be a cool adventure. Also sleeping together in the same
How big of a drive is it?
It's like, it depends on, so like for us from Dresden, because we need to go to Leipzig to pick up someone else up, it's like 5 hours, 6 hours, depends on the traffic. And from Leipzig, if we just like drive and don't have like any traffic issues, then it could be done in 4 hours. It could be done in 4 hours, but it could be also like 5 hours. So it's like, it's still okay. It's still okay, I feel like, for a drive. So
but y'all gonna stay together and party and have a big group party over there in Essen?
Actually, if I wouldn't need to wake up early to build up everything for Saturday, then yes, maybe. Like for me not. I need to go to sleep well, because then we need to. I mean, luckily, Right Rabbit and the store behind the qualifier. Actually, do we want to go to table? Oh no, I forgot. Oh no,
Table 49, last table.
Yeah, please. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Table 49 is cool. Ooh, Rasmussen playing. Actually preparing everything up, but then I can build also everything. We can all have dinner afterwards with my team from Bielefeld. Trickster, that would be super cool. I mean, we planned in time, but we also need to drive back. Oh no, Bielefeld. Oh no. Now you see. You just like say Germany in the chat, and then you summon them just like for themselves.
Exactly. We do. Overlast is circa 450 kilometers. What the fuck is a kilometer? Overlast. I'm from America.
Oh yeah, you have like those weird, so like. No, it's not weird. It's just like okay, I can say it's weird. Okay, it's weird. It's weird.
American fictional units.
You need to agree that. Please.
We do interestingly get the setup of the Quetzalcoatl type of deck that I've always wanted to see someone play here on the Arjun, being able to create a lot of recruits based off of your opponent drawing or resupplying.
It's 279 miles.
I appreciate all the EU people actually doing the conversion for me. I was being really facetious, but I do appreciate you doing the conversion for me.
300 miles? 200 miles? Okay, there's like, okay, there's like so many difference, but hey, it's somehow somewhere between that.
Approximately 300 miles. Can you guys tell me how many, how much is it in inches? Yeah, you could have honestly thrown out any amount of miles and I probably would have believed you.
So if you're driving constantly, then it's like not that far. I feel like it's like still like a good road. I mean, like
it's about 1,200 washing machines.
Yeah, 12. like in Germany, we compared like with football fields, so it's like 12 football fields. 200 football fields between us and.
Americans will use anything but the metric system. It's about 1,200 washing machines.
Yeah, 200 washing machines. Okay. 2 million auto red cards.
There you go. Exactly. Yeah, but when you're saying football fields, you're not saying American football fields.
No, so it's like soccer fields.
That's what I'm saying. Like, so you're even speaking even worse for me. You can't say football fields.
Actually, some Americans told me I still need to say football. I just like need to say American football if I'm especially talking about American football. And
well, I just
football is football.
I automatically assume anyone I talk to associated with Altered outside of the U.S. is talking about football. But either way, we do see a mechanical training.
Yeah.
The good old-fashioned Sierra setup here, where they're utilizing those from anywhere triggers off of mechanical trading. Being able to sabotage here,
I mean,
opting instead of the bust bug, yeah.
Just like
makes
with
sense.
The high stats, and we see the Flower 10, we see the Fox Army going to be represented in the reserve right now.
Yeah. Another card that I think they're utilizing a lot for those anchoring of the Quetzalcoatls. giving your opponent card advantage while still trying to produce something yourself.
Yeah. Runefang, don't talk that out that every soccer fields are different.
Yeah,
don't destroy the secret. Don't destroy the secret.
Yeah, I told someone about that at one point, and they're like, "Wait, really?" And I'm like, "Yeah, that's how you get like a home field advantage because you know your field better than your opponent does."
It's true.
Or if you're a type of team that wants to go like fast type of thing and having different types of setups and everything. Yeah. See, I know stuff. I know stuff.
Yeah, I see. Hey.
for an American. Anyway, we do have the Argent, interestingly enough, only one advance away from winning the game, but is gonna have to deal with a lot of Sierra resources here at this point.
It's like 3 mana left, but it's also just like a double mechanical training, for example, to just like put out like really strong robots with that. I mean, right now the Argent potentially, I mean, it's like, hey, there's like the potential of actually getting like the Burrowing Noosh as a small pass-by on any board field, but actually with those high stats, even those small pass-bys will not change like anything, because it's just like any additional rate to getting like another robot, or just like with the mechanical training, just like on the hero side, and even the Firefox is like not make a big huge difference. I mean, maybe Argent can just like set it up for the upcoming turn with that still, so there's like a potential chance.
Yeah, Gus calling it in chat. Unique Loki about to come out from Argent in hand.
Just play Loki, dude. Just play Loki. And
I mean, if you're having your opponent resupply and draw, why not play Unique Loki, right?
Yeah. Just play it. I mean, now the grants are super interesting because it's still like 1 mana left, so the Zerek potentially can play something else for that. So it's not super duper safe for Argent. So maybe just like prefer to start build up something if it comes to that. So let's see.
Yeah, they could also decide just to give up the 2-0 here and maybe just save resources, but I don't know if it's going to be any better the following day. So looks like they're going to give it a shot and throw out the Firefox. 4 mana left.
Yeah.
Ooh, Hooked. That Firefox will not be as useful over there on the companion side. Hooked has got to be probably one of the better cards that not everyone uses, but if you can include it in your deck and you have the room for it, go ahead and do it. Kind of messes everyone up, all for just 1 mana. Big card, especially the rare Hooked. I like the rare Hooked, even though it's 2 mana. Get the draw card. Big fan.
Yeah.
Now the question is does the Argent just take their loss here? And nope, they're going to try to anchor something. What do they got? They want to anchor. Waiting for in hand, or are they just going to anchor the Noosh? They're going to anchor the Noosh. So nothing left here for Sierra. Let's see what else they have in hand. It seems like they're going to play a card from hand, and we'll be able to find out if they would have been able to advance on that hero side had they not gotten hooked. Currently would have had 4 stats.
I hope we played Scorpion plays Rare Hooked in Altered movie. An Altered movie? Oh, that would be cool. Well, I mean,
it would be in French though, so.
Yeah, so guys, I mean, we can just like
dub
it. Yeah, we can just like dub it. That would be super funny. Well, I mean, with that, it's like a super preparation. I mean, like getting like the Burrowing Noosh is like being quite understandable for that. Just like if like the draw is going to be a boost and just like an additional thing. But I feel like with the Hooked is going to be there, it can just like getting to be replaced onto the companion side, and couldn't be also not that big threat right now. But maybe there's like something that I'm missing out with the Burrowing Noosh, but it's like super sad. Because even if like would be have a nice potential chance, especially like on the hero side, with just like 1 Hooked going to be changed.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Argent did a good job. I just think they kind of moved a little bit not fast enough, because I think they needed to win by now before the Sierra was able to get enough mana to take advantage of all those draws and resupplies that I think the Arjun was giving them. And this probably isn't enough available to the Arjun to be able to catch up. But either way, good for them to be able to almost take the victory. Don't see a lot of Arjuns these days. Probably in my mind, the least viable hero as far as competitive. The hero ability is just not good, unfortunately, with so many cards being able to do the same thing for free.
It's like super crazy, and I don't feel like what you can do now. I mean, you can play asleep, or you can just like
he's gonna draw. He's setting him up.
Oh.
Can he run into another draw?
It's just like,
is there a Daughter of Yggdrasil? He only has one in the discard.
Super interesting. But I mean, even with that, if the Cramps is coming out to play and she's like removing the Armored Gemma, it's just like, and also the mechanical training still can be played out. I mean, with that many end cards, there needs to be one in the hand at least, besides the one that we saw. So,
what is he gonna do?
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Getting rid of the jammer.
Well, I don't feel like it's like working. And okay.
Daughter of Yggdrasil into another Daughter of Yggdrasil. Even though that won't help.
Will it be? That would be so funny. But the Archer, it's thinking too much.
That will be enough stats if he's able to do it.
Archer, you can do that.
But then Sierra's gonna have a mechanical training.
Yes.
Oh, unique.
Oh. Target opponent draws a card. Getting the additional boost. Being able to progress now, but it's just like a sabot. No, it's like it's not enough, sadly.
Yeah.
Who would you guys play in the alternate movie? Blue. Who would you?
Would I play in the alternate movie?
Yeah.
Myself, because I get to be in the alternate movie. Ooh.
Oh, easy.
I don't know. As far as characters, that'd be an interesting one. I want to be Atsadi.
Atsadi?
I would want to be Atsadi. That'd be cool.
Could be, yes.
Cut off my arm for the role.
Oh, that's cool. Doing the Shanks things.
Yeah. Congratulations to the Sierra player. We'll let him take the victory.
The cards. Okay, guys. It's okay, we got it. Actually, okay, Cole would play Siggy. I don't know what I actually would play. I mean, if it comes like to any card or just like to the heroes. Because if it would be like the heroes, I don't know. I mean, actually Archer would make sense because I have like a lot of cactus actually in my room. Like I'm taking care of like now 40 cactus at total. So the companion would make sense for me. I'm a huge cactus fan actually. I'm how you say it? Anyway, I forgot the word. So let's go to table 41 and we can actually curse a little bit Cole. One of the tables said it's going to be still play. And what is Cole playing? Ooh. Cole is being above 100 elo. This is not the actually real Korabi account. I cannot believe that. This is a fan account, as I see. This cannot be.
Cole throwing out the double Hydrocina.
Yeah.
Obviously taken from the Tasia player that we saw playing the double Hydras at the French qualifier.
Yeah. Why Kodama? Why would be Kodama? I mean, I like Kodama. It's like my most favorite card. But, I mean, with all these Hydrokinas... Sadly, I stopped donating Elo. Yeah, I see that. But actually, with all those Hydrokinas... that's like super hard now. For Pro and Play TV.
Hold on a second. Is there anyone in Altered with a beard? I don't think so, right?
I mean, Aphonis and Raro has a beard.
That's true, but I'm not bald. I guess I could be Waru.
But I mean, would you favor to sacrifice your arm to play at Sadi instead of just like making you bald for the movie?
I don't know if I'd want to sacrifice my beard.
I mean, you don't. Yeah, that's true. You need to sacrifice your beard.
Yeah, I don't know if I do that. The arm I was okay with, but I don't know about the beard.
Okay, yeah, I see.
So I may just need to be Waru. I don't know.
Yeah, you need to be.
I'd be down with being Mac too. I'll be a little otter.
Oh yeah, that's also a good thing to do.
Well, we do see some conscription coming down here with a lot of boosted up tokens, actually catching up to that Hydrocina.
Yeah.
Can they do anything else though? Gonna be difficult. Only 2 mana.
I don't feel like there's like anything to do that. I mean, even another conscription wouldn't help out. I mean, Rift that to okay. A teamwork training, it's also not helping, sadly.
Yeah, I can't even target the Hydras. Only gonna knock out that one Arrows. Yeah. So, not gonna prevent the advance, and Cole surprisingly gets a victory. Good for him.
Yeah, congrats to that. So, GG Cole for that. Super cool to see that actually the beloved Arrows unique list is working for him. So
finally.
Yeah. And I feel like, was it the last game that's going to be played? No, actually there's still like another game going on. Actually 2 other games. If you want, we can jump to table 31 to Petrino Ducat against Yaran. Table 31.
Alrighty.
And oh, we see a fan! Finally. Oh no, they're just like chatting, so it seems like we don't see like anything.
Table 31, let's take a look.
But they already finished. To each other?
Oh, okay. Game over. Well, I guess we're going back then.
Yeah, just like to the next round. Let's go to table 33 as like the last table. They're actually still playing. Please don't be like on the last card going to be played out. Oh man, okay. I received the license right roll, so still some action.
Very, very end of the game here.
Yeah.
Ooh, Toma goes in. GG though called. Can't top the goal ring. Goal ring's too powerful this meta. So many goal rings we got to see today.
Yeah, that's true. Oh.
And goal ring will close that one out. So we'll head on back again. Thank you everyone that's been watching us thus far and kind of just dealing with our randomness. I feel like we've talked more about different random things than actual altered, but we do appreciate everyone sticking around the chat and making things lively. You are watching the A.W.O.L Season 3 Monday Weekly number 6 at this point. Yeah. Sold out event. And we're getting into the Swiss round 5, I believe, right?
Yeah. This is true. And with that, we can start focusing. I mean, oh, actually on table 1 already, it's like an interesting matchup. It's groups against freeloader.
Let's take a look.
I mean, this could be like super interesting to watch. So let's go in. Still both players are going to choose now, so...
It's Caster Curse Freeloader.
I mean, I hope Freeloader is playing the deck that he actually just like released on one of his YouTube tweets with like, did you watch it?
Which one was this?
The last one, the latest one with like the resupply landmark stuff. Where
was this the Subash one or no?
No, the other one was like a new one. You need to
I
check
didn't watch the new one.
Yeah, actually Freeloader figured out an infinite comp with like uniques.
No, I remember the infinite comp. Is that one this one is about?
Yeah, I was talking about, but he's not playing it. He's playing Cojo.
Okay.
Unfortunate. I was thinking maybe he's playing
saving it for the Essen.
Oh yeah. I mean, now you can't save it because people know what's happening.
Yeah, that's true. Cojo Mirror matchup though. Freeloader versus Gibbs here. we'll see who can take the other down.
It's almost playing it out, brother. Okay, that's true. To do that combo switcher and playing it here. Okay, yeah. So we see like again a Cojo mirror match. Super interesting to see. I mean, Freeloader, beside like the Sabin and the Infinite list that he's going to be watched, like also already super well known for being like one of the dedicated Cojo player out there, playing it since season 1. Also adding to that, Freeloader always saying that Cojo is the most ordered faction and also hero that you can actually play if it comes to the game style. So super interesting to see. And Group's actually being known for playing Basira, but also now on the Cojo list, so super interesting. And now it's getting a boost and actually draw a card with that. And we see the Mess already playing out. And I think the Mess is like a super game changer in general for Cojo, being able to play around with it. So
yeah, 1-for-1 though. And good setup for both players here, getting some draw as far as the Ozma unique and getting the Mess set up here with 2 counters already. Gotta love the Buddha being able to help out with the Mess.
Yeah. So this is like all that came from what I feel like also the Mess is interesting in the mirror matchup, because with that potentially, if you're being able to first play it out, you're being able to get like those additional characters from reserve and can play around with that. I don't know how much actually the difference is going to make between those. We see actually the Auto Spy, oh that's a good target right now. Just like getting rid of the Tiny Chin. And yeah, we see just like the Mighty Chin coming out, as usual. Usual plans going on with that. But still, right now, the bottom Cojo could potentially just like pass by, because we'll be able to just like double progress with that.
Yeah. Only thing is if they wanted to play a 1 cost, they could have, but I mean, really no reason to at this point.
Yes.
Giving up the 2-for-1 here, and we will get the lead early on here by Gibbs.
Yeah. And so we can see the Magician going to be there. The 3rd counter for the Mess will coming up. Seeing the Auto Spy and Rare is super cool. I mean, also the Ozma still like for a 2 cost run free. Sadly, not any expedition right now to helping through it to go anything forward. But it's also just like we're seeing the Mighty Chin here as well. I mean, let's see.
Yeah, Mighty Chin will probably be a good play here for Freeloader on the hero side potentially. Is able to block the forest terrain while being able to advance in the mountain terrain. Question is how will the bottom Cojo be able to respond to that? We'll also be able to see the activation of the Mess that you mentioned earlier. Now that it has 3 food counters, we could see a resupply coming out from Freeloader if they so choose, or they could hold on to it. Either way, 5 for 5, and we will immediately see that Mighty Jin play that I was talking about before.
Yeah.
Too good of a play not to do it. 3 cards in hand, though, still left for Freeloader. 4 for Gibbs. But I imagine we'll probably see the Spy come out here, maybe? Have to see. Taking some time. I don't know if they want to play the Ozma, like you mentioned, because it's not really good in any of the trains, like you said. And I'm sure they want to try to get a boost on it if they can, so they can get that at dusk draw ability.
Yeah.
The Ozma could be a good idea if they wanted to try to just block the Mighty Jin on the hero side, but it looks like we will see that Ozma play instead. I mean, not the Ozma, the Orta Spy play instead. Really good from reserve in the rare, getting to produce that token. Sometimes even really a lot better if you have something that can benefit from having another character join. Know a lot of Cojo players like running uniques when a character joins expeditions. You can give something a boost, so we may be seeing that as well here in the future, but for now just the unique Ozma. But the resupply into the Tiny Jin's not that bad either. Might just be the easier play here for Freeloader instead of playing anything from hand, but they could also just save that for another time. They'd also it won't be as useful in some cases, but if they can advance on that companion side, it will definitely be useful in the forest and mountain terrain that they might see. So we'll have to see if there's a response. And a snowman is in fact a really good response, a great out of faction rare that we've seen being played from these Cojo players.
That's true. So it's always just like the fact that groups being one expedition ahead with those plays into that. I mean, we still need to consider that right now that freeloader always being able to get like this additional character as well, also being now able to just like being ahead on mana as well. So this could be like a potential change right now that we're going to see in this match. Also just like need to reconsider that the Tiny Chin as well can doing a little good job. I mean, what is like potentially good now for groups will be here that if we just like take a look on the reserve of both players, then the Braavos Pathfinder easily still fitting into the companion side, but still would not be able to manage to block anything on both sides, and it's for like for both characters, because the only plant region type that's going to be in one set liner right now that we can see is the Tiny Chin that's going to be played out from the reserve. So it's actually just like belonging on what the mass actually going to be getting from freeloader, as well as like what the hand cards actually providing in that case. But with that case right now, it seems like super good for groups, just like with the regions and expeditions that are going to be out here.
Yeah, I agree. At this point, being able to advance in forest on both expeditions has to feel pretty good for them. We don't know what's in hand for freeloader, but they just keep on running into non-forest terrain based characters. So even if they're able to squeak out something with either mountain or water terrain, we may be looking at a 2-0 for Gibbs, or at least a 2-1, maybe even a 2-2.
Yeah,
Can see that a lot happening in what we have with Braavos mirror matchups. More than likely, though, I could definitely see a 2-1 occurring, but in the meantime, we will see a Mighty Gen finally being able to get some forest stat out there.
I mean, right now, potentially what we can see is like the Braavos Pathfinder could be both cards played out, so that freeloader could potentially just like progress on the companion side, but with that, groups would be just like being able to actually only being one expedition left, even still with that, because of the missing type of the plant region. And this is like now the question, what actually freeloader will start to even reliable more or on focusing more. And okay, we see the Tellurian Skater coming to being out. Just
yeah, looks like it's
scout cost, yes.
Yeah, scout play here.
And then potentially played out again on the hero side.
Yep.
So being able to get it, yes. And this
Should
is
be
crazy
enough.
because with that, the mess again have enough counters for the upcoming turn to just like play out. And as we can see right now, with just like the expeditions going to be placed here, the last one, yeah, will be focusing on the water type as well on the mountain type. So right now for the companion side, both Braavos Pathfinder are fitting super well right now with that, but there's still like a missing leg of like the plant region, so this is still like a chance for our button Cojo to just like progress with that fact at that point. So let's see.
Yeah, they do decide to ramp up using that Mighty Gen. Fairly even as far as card resources available to them. We will get to see that mess be able to be exhausted and resupply, like you mentioned before, for the top Cojo in freeloader. And it will be a Buddha turn as well, but they are 3 spots behind before winning the game, whereas the bottom Cojo just needs 2. So we could definitely see an end to the game here if the bottom Cojo is able to get at least 2 advances. But I think we're more than likely going to see something a little bit closer to a 1 or a 2-1 kind of thing. But we'll have to see how this turns out for both Cojo players. Either way, it's been a heck of a game thus far, seeing how both of them can maneuver around their lower statistics in certain terrains to be able to win and avoid your opponent from getting too many double advances.
Yes. And I see Starshine Simon as well joining in the table to watch. Alright.
Daddy's joining now, and he wasn't here earlier when I was talking about how the US actually knows the metric system. He's not a big fan of my jokes. Either way.
I mean, he's a teacher as well, so I can understand. I can understand that.
That's fair, that's fair.
But how high is the chance that Simon is rewatching the whole WD?
Yeah, he could just be
pretty
watching.
high.
He could just be watching it on BJ. He could be not listening to us. Either way, we do see
Yeah.
a Pathfinder come out here for the freeloader on the top, Cojo.
He's doing a really good job right now with that. I mean, just like the fact that now our button culture groups could just like focusing actually on the hero side with that. What we can see, I mean, still the mess is coming up, and as we can see, like so many potential chances coming out from the reserve for Rune right now. So I'm super interested to see what's going to be. And okay, just like playing out the Ozma. Well, that makes sense.
Finally get to see the Ozma come out. Makes me think that we'll probably be seeing some boosts, maybe even a Chiron.
Ooh, could be, yes. A Chiron, Tellurian Skater could also do the job as well. So could be one of those chances.
Maybe a Fire Rabbit.
Ooh, yeah. Fire Rabbit as well. So many cards that actually boosting.
Yeah.
I mean, is Braavos playing any hero that's relying on boosts? I don't know.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I think everyone should play Saudi, right?
Yeah, just play Azadi, guys.
Yeah.
I mean, are you still on this Azadi trip for yourself?
Well, first off, how dare you call it a trip? It's a lifestyle.
Okay,
of
I'm sorry.
You don't just be on a trip about it. But
okay, I'm sorry.
I actually haven't dove into Atsadi a whole lot this set. I've actually been enjoying Basira a lot more as far as Braavos goes. So,
okay, I see. Atsadi is a ray of life. Okay, I'm
exactly.
sorry.
Like you just it's just not like something you do and jump on the bandwagon for. You start at Saudi and you live at Saudi.
Oh, okay. I see.
I think you're talking to the very first and only season 1 A.W.O.L at Saudi top placer ever. Until Westworld decided to do really well, but the very first.
It's not about that you're getting over it. You read it first one. It's like
it took him until the next season to destroy me in that. But at least for the first season, you're talking to the top Saudi player in A. Come on.
I'm sorry.
We do see a unique Dorothy Gale. A lot of effects here. From hand, if you control one or more landmarks, you may send target character to reserve, and from anywhere, if you control one or more landmarks, you may discard target character with hand cost 3 or less. So that's a really good removal, Dorothy Gale.
We do have critics coming in. It's like super interesting rune. The triple landmark. If you control one landmark, send target card to reserve. Control one landmark, discard target character. If you control one landmarks, I mean, this is a crazy Dorothy, but I mean, in that kindly, especially like the list of freeloader, it makes sense to play the Dorothy because with that, it's going to be just like able to get, I mean, it's like the chance are high that you have like a landmark at least once.
I feel. I mean, whereas the landmark condition was kind of horrible early on, I feel like Braavos these days is probably one of the better factions to run landmark uniques. Yeah, obviously. So, all those 2 costs landmarks and even 1 cost if we're talking about Basira, right, Runefolk? Come on. Little Keylon cylinder, huh? Either way. But yeah, interesting. Both Cojo players here, still only 3 cards left in hand, and we see a unique player navigator that just sabotages. All right.
And we see the Haven, which is like getting another an additional Tellurian Skater with that.
Oh, you have a draw a clute too, Rune? I have one draw a clute. I don't know if I want to use a second one or not, but I do have 1 draw a clute. That's just, it feels amazing. Gotta love them. Shout out to Flo at the French qualifier for running the double draw clutes.
Yes.
Oh, Rinku has some? Okay.
Yeah, cool. You know, Rinku was one of the player after being on the finals. We're just like applying on the team.
I have to here. Let me see if I can find mine. I'll send you the one that I have, Rune.
Yeah.
or a picture of it at least. I'm not going to send you the actual card.
So
I'm not that
going
nice.
to be 6 mana left. I mean, with 3 mana, but let's see. I mean, the Haven still being here, the Mess still being around. It also feels like that Freeloader actually can just like close it out. And after this round, I need to go so hard to the toilet.
Okay, I'll hang out here.
Yeah.
Just
But
put
I
me
wait
on.
until for the next round so that you don't need to
Yeah.
watch like TV winner string guys.
Yeah, you can just put me on a game if you need to. No big deal.
Yeah.
I can't find it. Where is it? Oh, here it is. Found it. Save image. Download. Where's Runefolk? Runefolk. This is the one that I've been running and I've been loving it.
Okay, Freeloader now heard in the stream that I need to go to the toilet, so I started to take decision now. Freeloader, don't throw me, please. No, okay, with 1 mana left. I mean, there's like nothing you can potentially do right now, and I feel like actually
it's gonna be pretty difficult for him to come back here.
For like 3 mana, like that.
Definitely gonna need some type of removal, right?
Yeah. I mean, the Tellurian can be played under the hero side, at least blocking that. And then it's like, yeah, removal. Also with that. But it seems like maybe group's getting like an additional card. Because got like 1 mana left.
The suspense is killing me.
What is killing you? I mean,
yeah, right, Rune. It's nuts. I love it. And then obviously I can also, if I want to, I can keel and cylinder it too.
Okay, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Well, let's see what Rinku has. If you control one of our mana I gain 2 boosts. Nice. And when I gain one of our boosts, if you control
getting the additional boost, the fire rabbit would potentially just like be enough to at least also preventing from progressing through the hero side and giving the additional boost to that. Okay.
Yeah, the landmark occlutes are good too.
Yeah.
I was thinking about getting one on the marketplace, but I haven't got one yet. But he does have a fire rabbit.
Yes.
Oh, this is going to be difficult for Freeloader then. Yeah, I think we're getting the GGs. Not much you can do there. Unfortunate for him, but we will see the victory there going to Gibbs, winning the Cojo mirror matchup. Maybe seeing a Cojo victory here for this A.W.O.L weekly, potentially.
Yeah.
All right.
So congrats to that. Freeloader never being able to finish the 6-0. Okay, I will put you on table 9 because it seems like they're not progressed that much. It's Trickster against Epsilon. And now I will go to the toilet quickly. Thank you so much, bro.
All right, table 9. Let's take a look at stuff. We can stop reminiscing about uniques in general. You get Trickster versus Epsilon. I don't think we've seen Trickster around for a while. Usually joins and isn't able to make it, but you get to watch him here. And it looks like he finally gave in. I know for the longest time he was trying to make Waru work, and he jumped on the Aphonis bandwagon. Not surprised. Sometimes you just gotta jump on that bandwagon, am I right? Either way, Aphonis v Aphonis matchup here. And we will see how this one turns out. Currently, we have a slight advantage for the bottom of Aphonis in Trickster versus Altered Aces Epsilon on the top side of things. And we'll see who can take this one. It does look like they have pretty similar board states as far as both having a Nilum out, but we do have a slight hand advantage here for the bottom of Aphonis. And we'll see how the top of Aphonis is able to respond. Both even mana, though. we do have a Sneezer Shroom available for the bottom of Aphonis. I think we made a mistake or two that may have changed some things. Yeah, it was still an interesting matchup as far as the back and forth there. Starting off slow, Category and Alchemist, and we'll see an immediate second Nilum. Interesting play here. Going to hit that magical training. Not going to give him an option to draw any more cards. And going to throw out a double Moth. Now the question is the placement of the Moth. Moth is always a good time to Moth if you're going to Moth, right? Moth. Either way, one Moth on the hero side. Thinking maybe he wants to throw one on the companion side. Want to contest that. Oh, he's not going to activate the second one. Interesting. He's saving it. I don't think I see people do that very often. Interesting play. So Conscription here is only going to be able to hit one here in the reserve, purely seems like to be used for the spell side of things, as well as throwing out one recruit. 3 cards left here for in hand of the bottom Aphonis. A lot they could play around with here. I don't think we're going to be seeing that Off You Go being played. And yeah, we will in fact see a different type of removal in the Evanescence being thrown out here. A big card here, I'd have to imagine, for the mirror matchup between another Aphonis, because you can hit those Category and Alchemists, and by exhausting something can trigger the Nilum here. And maybe that's what we were waiting for, and giving a delayed opportunity to play a Moth. But looks like we will not see a Nilum trigger, and we will go ahead and just see the boost. Yep, just the boost for playing the spell. Oh, no, he is going to Nilum trigger. Just picking the order of how he wants to do it. And he's going to throw that second Moth over on the hero side, and we will see a unique Studious Disciple. I know you guys can't read it at the moment, but it's a 2/2, and when I leave the Expedition Zone, if I have one or more boosts, you may return a card other than me from your reserve to your hand. And then from reserve, you may return a spell from your reserve to your hand. So technically, it can be a double return here. And for 2/2 and 2/2/1 stats, that's a solid character just in general in the Studious Disciple. And bottom Aphonis here is going to follow up with a Sabotage. Doesn't even want to have the Mage Dancer have an opportunity. And also going to see a Slept Sneezer Shroom. So we're looking at a 1-for-1 here as we go to the end of the day. Once again, I want to thank everyone that has joined us thus far. This is the A.W.O.L weekly, Monday weekly, number 6, I believe. And it's just a good time. Sold out event here on Monday once again. Appreciate everyone that's been joining these events and making them all to the max amount that we have available, 128 players, and just competing as a whole. It's been really great. If anyone wants to start pumping up those numbers on Wednesday, that would be great too. Imagine a day that North America actually has a capped out event on Wednesday for A.W.O.L. That would be beautiful. But for now, not going to happen. I do hear Pandy rustling around in the background, potentially jumping on here, putting on the headset, eating a candy bar. I don't know what he's eating. I'm not looking at the stream, but eating something. Oh, is it chips? Is it, or if I'm in the UK, crisps? No one else in EU uses the term crisps, right? Is it just the English folks? I don't know. Someone in chat, let me know. Either way, we're going to start right away with a 2-cost play of a Tooth Fairy. Surprising there, coming from the bottom of Aphonis. Okay, so it is UK being weird. Okay, I appreciate that. I'm glad. We do see the unique Studious Disciple come out again. He's back. He's back, everyone. Got a fun little unique here that, if you hadn't seen it already, gets some double card return.
Ooh, yeah. That's cool.
We do see an Evanescence being played here from reserve. Interesting plays here coming from the bottom of Aphonis. playing both of the reserve cards for a lot of mana. Makes me wonder that what he has in hand that he just doesn't want to show is looking primed to potentially double advance, depending. 3 mana is still plenty, and you can activate both of those Nilums potentially, depending on what the exhaust play he has. So top Aphonis has to be wary, but being able to play a 1-cost character does help them a little bit. So we'll have to see what bottom Aphonis has.
That's true. I mean, with 3 mana, the potential chance right now could be either just like, for example, a double magical training, another spindle harvester.
Interesting that we saw him play the spindle on the companion side. Makes me think that he has some way to deal with that shroom potentially. And we will see another removal in the Evanescence come out here. And that will trigger both of the Nilums by exhausting that spindle. So now we're in the spot. No more mana left for bottom Aphonis. 5 left for the top Aphonis. And is going to have to stop at least one of these expeditions. And if they can, I think they'll be in a pretty decent spot just based off of resources. But we'll have to see if they're able to do that with just 5 mana.
Totally agreeing to that.
If we see the magical training be played, then I think they're going to be digging and probably not in a good spot. But if we do see something from hand, they may be in a better spot.
Ooh, Rhinefrost.
Rhinefrost purely to get the Nilum out here, so I don't know how good of a spot that puts them in. They'll need one more decent character here. Question is, do they have it, or are they just going to play multiple spells? They can just play both spells if they want to. That'll give them enough boost to at least tie. Off You Go would be good here as well. 3 cards. Could have ran into something with that magical training. A lot of outs to at least prevent the advance and the win, but not a lot to necessarily win this setup here. And okay, Beauty Sleep does come out, so that will give them at least the ability to win one of the expeditions and put them in a spot to be able to 2-0 on the following day and maybe take this game away from the bottom of Aphonis.
Yeah, that's true. So I just want to see. Oh! I mean, I'm also always bugging sometimes seeing a final sparrow match, just to prevent it, just get them off. I can totally feel your dog. I can feel that. I can feel that. Yeah.
1 second.
Yes. So guys, you can see even the barking of a dog cannot not prevent from a Aphonis mirror match. I mean, it is what it is at the end. But hey, as we can see right now, the both Nilum Riftry is going to be placed here as well against one of them. Actually, the bottom of Aphonis, just for the fact of having the Spindle Harvester, right, is going to be into a spot, seeing that the Rhinefrost getting directly played out, and also to prevent the bottom Aphonis Trickster to playing out the Sneasher Shroom. It's in a good spot right now for Epsilon, getting the mana muff compared to that onto this side. Oh, that's good. We see the 2-Fire actually going to be played out, so the Beauty Sleep is going to be removed. I mean, with that right now, there are only 2 hand cards left. I mean, it's only 1 Magical Training that's actually got to be played out as well, so we could potentially see another one. Maybe this could be a chance. I mean, for our upper one is not that. Okay, so put the card and read if you do draw 2 cards. Oh, that's interesting.
I was curious if he was going to be able to play a character there and having to worry about that Evanescence. But obviously won't be able to hit anything with it, but it looks like he's just purely using it for the boost, and having to use that just for the boost seems like not an ideal situation for the bottom of Aphonis, and is now going to have to deal with another character. So we may just be looking, like you said, in a good spot. And ooh, a Beauty Sleep is a nice last card to have here, going to make the Category Alchemist fall asleep, and I don't know if there's going to be any response here by the top of Aphonis. Can still see another beauty sleep potentially here. Still playing. Don't see any GGs.
Yeah. That's it.
1 mana left. There's nothing you can do, right? I don't think there's anything you can do with 1 mana.
Great. I realize it now. The double beauty sleep. Hold on. That's crazy. Oh no, that's like not any chances to change it.
Yeah, no.
It's like not any chances.
Yeah, he had maybe the idea of he'd be able to, if he still had his Nilum up and able to hit it with an exhaust here, that would have helped him, but not the case here. Beauty sleep a little bit too powerful in the end, and bottom of Aphonis will take the victory, although it was a very close game.
Yes, it's true. It's just like difference of run expedition at the end, but you only win if it's like crossing, so did want to create 2 mana mobs. Okay, so return to the main page. So let's see. Was it the last? Oh, it was your last round. And oh my goodness, on table 1 we see Gladius against Tempad.
Yeah, so we have 4 undefeated players left now. We have Gladius versus Tempad, and we have Gibbs versus Popeye. I think we've watched Gibbs and Popeye, so we may as well take a look at table 1, right?
Oh yeah, totally agreeing to that. I'm super excited for that. I mean, Gladius.
And I believe, is this going to be a mirror matchup as well?
Tempad is playing Aphonis,
Aphonis, yeah. So it's going to be Aphonis versus Sigismar, and then table 2 is a mirror matchup of Kojos. So we're going to have at least 1 Kojo undefeated player, and then either a Sigismar or an Aphonis undefeated player.
Yes. So how do I spell Tempad?
T-E-M-P-E-T-E-D-E-L-A-N-I-G-E.
Team Beal, Nah, I don't think that's correct. I don't think that's right. I was there with Tempad. Or Snowstorm. Or Snow Blizzard. Snow Blizzard was the translation. Someone told me. But both players being over 600 elo, that's like incredible. So we're seeing like a high competitive play here, guys. On one of the final tables, I mean, Gladius being like the superior, like Sigismar player as always. Also like for Tempad with the Aphonis. We will definitely see a Kakoba. I can surely tell this will be happening. So I'm super excited to see. I mean, both of the players know this matchup really well, because this is like one of the oldest, like, well-known matchups, I would say, in total for all auto-red competitive games.
And I'm sure they've had... Yeah, and I'm sure they've had their fair share of playing each other in this matchup just to do some testing, right?
Yeah.
Honestly, 2 players as well that I think are on the top of the list as far as potential people that still have yet to qualify that could definitely qualify for the World Championship in one of these EU events. I have to imagine you'll probably be seeing some of them over in Essen too, to maybe try to get a spot over there. So we'll see what happens, but good little preview of what we may have here in the future.
Yeah, that's true. And I mean, with that, oh, the Mage Dancer directly is coming out to play. That's interesting.
Yeah, it looks like it's just there for purely for the block, and a nice setup for the following day, because he'll be first player, going to be able to play a 1 mana card, and then just play whatever he wants after that.
Yeah.
So despite giving up a 1-0 here, I think the Aphonis player is definitely setting themselves up pretty well for potentially getting a 2-0 on the following day, but we'll have to see how they draw.
That's correct. And this is like super interesting to see like both characters already going to be played out, just like to block it. Like a nice decision here for that, because this is like one of the things that's going to be happen with Sigismar. If you're just like doing just like the things that the Sigismar is doing and it's progressing too fast, and then especially as an Aphonis that is like more relying on to the mid to the late game, it's like always hard to just like speed up to that point. So every solution right now for that could be a chance for taking. I mean, what also just like being the case is right now as you can see, I mean, Gladius could potentially, play out anything to do against the Mage Dancer, but with that, and any spell that's coming out now, it's also like a super good chance right now for Temperature actually going into the double progress, but the Monolithic Gate could prevent something. For example, just like discarding the Spindle Harvester, and then Temperature would be lacking on characters, as it's like one of the well-known issues that in Aphonis could run into that. But let's see how Gladius actually going to be decide with that.
Yeah, I think it's a decision here. Oh, he's going to play his unique cadets that lets him draw a card if you control a token. And now he can throw the legate out, like you mentioned, and potentially see how the setup here goes. A magical training obviously is a great play here for the Aphonis. Not going to have to worry about resources as much. Now the question is, where are we going to see the legate come out? Or maybe it's a card from hand. I doubt it, but more than likely we're going to see it come out. He's going to throw it out. He's going to prioritize the idea of advancing here and seeing if the Aphonis has anything to deal with it. And it doesn't look like that is the case. So just going to be a standard 1-for-1 here and just piling on resources for the Aphonis.
Yeah.
Play on the Sigismar does get a draw from the unique, so can decide to play that again, and it will be a first turn play, so won't have to any sabotage setup. We will get another draw based off of the rare Mage Dancer coming from the Aphonis, so slight hand advantage for the Aphonis player, but Clay should be able to make some of that up here with his unique play.
It's true, and it's also just like the fact right now that even if like the card advantage will come out with that, Gladius can just like relying on to the reserve and just like keep the hands like it is with that. Actually, it's also cool that the token spammer the cadets have like an arrow effect for drawing the card, so it's like another chance to actually catch up at this point. Right now the Aegis Templar could be a potentially like card, also being really good well fitting into the companion side with that. So could be just like using to going to be like in the case of, hey, I'm playing out the Aegis Templar there now, and even you just like relying on spells and buffing up the Spindle Harvester to potentially block me onto the hero side, or you also just like need to start to using the companion side as well with that case. So it's like super interesting choices that Gladius right now needs to do with that. But just like to moving out Aphonis like hand cards in general, then the Aegis Templar can just like going to be played out, and that's like super smart. Playing out on the hero side, having the companion side, so that's good. Yeah,
a lot of cards left in hand though for the Aphonis player, so they can definitely pull something out here if they want. No more mana left for Clay on the Sigismar on the top here, so we will see the other magical training that we have already seen being played. Just going to boost up the Spindle Harvester. Now the question is are we going to see some more spells? Or are we going to see another character? And just keep on recycling the magical training. Get as many resources as possible. Yeah. It's going to be a pretty tough spot.
And also with the Muff to a Flame, being able to actually double progress now at this point. Sorry. Single progression. No. I cannot do math,
but block at least. But block at least on the other side. So able to make up that spot before, and now we are dead even on the Tumult.
So this is good, and also just like having a strong Spindle Harvester like that, just like sitting there. I mean, it's not that bad at this point. Okay, so it's like super interesting now how this could be going to be the next setup here for this one of the final matches. We see actually another Spindle Harvester come down, and it's like a super interesting fact that actually Tempest deciding always or result like before to play the Spindle, especially on the hero side where like the token for the Sigismar is spawning, And this makes like sense because with that you have like a potential threat, especially like for the plant creature type, to actually just like block it out, just like to having that, because one of the biggest strength right now that actually Sigismar has, if it's just like coming down to like the gameplay and in general of the fact, is like that this token spawner, if you have like this token on the hero side, usually as an opponent you always need to put something down there that like this silly recruit always getting to be blocked. The Spindle Harvester makes sense, staying there for 2 additional turns, getting boosted as well, being even stronger, so it's like a good addition to block here as an Aphonis. We see right now that Gladius decided to play the Odyssey Tony on the hero side, just like maybe also because due to the fact that actually there's like nothing left to actually just like providing to progressing forward onto this. And as we can see, Aphonis is going to be played out the magical training as well. So with the additional draw a card, it sometimes is just like also a hidden thing of like, it's either like a small pass by, but also it's like a super way to getting like more characters, because as we can see now, with the Mage Dancer and the both Spindle Harvester are going to be played out, it seems like not a lot actually in general, but in Aphonis already like played out 3 characters. This is like actually a lot compared to an Aphonis, if it's like going to be not that much characters, many spells into the list. So let's see how it's going on.
Yeah. So we're in a scenario here that it's going to be weird, I think. Yeah, they're going to keep on recycling that magical training.
And
okay. Yeah,
okay.
I mean, I feel like the more and more we see these card draws happen for the Aphonis player, the more and more likely we're going to see them take the advantage in this game. But we do see a unique Ozma come out here for Clay. It lets you, if you control 4 more characters, draw a card. And if you have less than 8 mana orbs, create 2 Orders Recruit soldier tokens in My Expedition. So solid value Ozma there, and that will allow them to draw a card and try to keep up with the amount of cards that this Aphonis player is trying to put on the board.
Yes. Totally agreeing onto that, so with it right now, yeah, we see the magical training again. I mean, at the end, it's just like a good setup for the Sneezer's Room coming out, getting a stronger stats line for the next upcoming turn. It's again a 1-for-1 trade here for the expeditions with that. The Odyssey Tony making sure to draw an additional card. Right now we can see, okay, needs to decide now which card's going to be removed, and it's actually the Ozma to take over that. What makes like sense. I mean, right now we can see both of them have like the same amount of hand cards just like placing out there, but the magical training still like being here in the reserve, and it's actually just like the second copy out here for the Aphonis, and with only seeing 1 slate of hand, it's like being potentially like able that like this slate of hand can just like getting back again into the hand, the magical training with the slate of hand. Sorry guys. So let's see how this is going to be, but also like with the Orders Trooper, it's another small pass by here for Sigismar going to be placed down. Yeah,
should be interesting how they're going to try to catch up to these anchored characters, and how many more does the Aphonis player have available to them, and how they can make things work here. I think we're still looking at a slight advantage here for the Aphonis player. Yeah. We do see just the 1-cost Rhymefrost come out here for the boost. And one thing we haven't seen yet that we've seen in a lot of our previous Aphonis matchups is that Nilum Withered Tree that we've mentioned before. So yeah, I'll be curious to see if we see that at some point from the Aphonis player. Will cost 4 mana to play, so it may be a little bit of a tempo slowdown, but coming to a point where they could probably deal with that and have enough mana to be able to play something else afterwards. So my main question is as a Sigismar player yourself, Pandy, what are you doing in this situation, in this matchup, with your opponent still constantly building up resources and keeping anchored characters out there?
It's like really hard as a Sigismar player, right, to just like going against it. Also, if it's like super helping a lot. I mean, Tempet had like a super nice game plan at all, with like the both Spindle Harvester coming out, with the magical training being able to just like going back to hand. And what I would focusing, and what we can actually also see from Claydus right now, is just like the perfect only way to actually somehow prevent from it. It's also relying on which hand cards are going to be there. It's like to have hopefully at least like one removal and start to putting on some small pass-bys, especially against the Aphonis player, so that I can see, okay, the resources that the Aphonis right now build it up are going to be decreased like all the time if like actually everything is going to be played out. And maybe if it's like hurting for this turn that I'm going to play against it, it's helping maybe against like an additional turn that's coming out. So, and with like the like improvements of like removals right now for set 3 that the Sigisma has, with like the licensed Thrive Troll, with like the Tiny Trail if it's coming to play, with like the teamwork training especially, there's still like a way to just like using a 1-of-1 trade-off. So instead of focusing on like double advance or just like play super aggro, I would just like focusing on just like single advancing and just like writing out at some point that the Aphonis, even with like 200 hand cards, just like can't do anything against it, because there's like already every character going to be removed. And we can see that's actually going to be the thing that Gladius is going, because even with the double progressioner, a mage dancer is hurting always from Aphonis for the upcoming turn. So this is what I would actually just like start focusing on.
Yeah, we do see that license withdrawal that you mentioned come out here for the removal. But still a lot of stats here for the Aphonis player, and able to just keep on drawing here with the magical training coming from reserve. It's going to be difficult for the play in the Sigismar to be able to maintain any type of card advantage, because they have 2 exhausted cards in the reserve.
Yeah.
And it's just becoming a little bit more and more rough. Down 2 cards in hand, get another one off of the Attorney draw, but they'll lose a card in reserve here, and they do get double advanced on at this point. So now they're just going to be playing catch up this entire game, unless they can pull something out that's going to surprise this Aphonis. They've had at least 4 to 5 cards in their hand this entire game based off of those early magical trainings. We haven't even seen a Conjuring Seal yet. I don't know if they're running it in this deck list, but just so much card draw available to them, so much card return with the sleight of hand, and it seems like they've had the advantage early on just based off of those initial draws, and it's going to be a tough one for Clay on the Sigismar to be able to come back here, even if they find those answers that you've mentioned as far as playing up against the top Aphonis.
And this is like super interesting, because I've just like checked out how many characters actually Tembet is playing. It's actually 13 characters, and with the Spindle Harvester right now, it's going to be 2, 4, 5, already 5 characters are down. I mean, still the Nilam River tree is going to be into the list, so a potential mana moth can just like being produced, as well as the Moth Tooth Flame. So, but that's actually just like one of the things that I mentioned in the earlier turns, that like even if Aphonis is lacking of like characters, there are like still so many cards going on into the list, it's being able to produce even more out. So this is like super interesting. I mean, right now a Nilam would be like potentially such good right now, and to be played out against this All Destroyer, it's going to be with those stats liner out as a 3-3-2 with that. But we see actually the Studio Disciples is going to be to play, so maybe there's also like a chance of remove. It's just like going to be Tembet going for the 6-0. Yeah, I forgot that Runefolk is actually Tembet's biggest fan. Always forgetting that. I'm sorry, Rune. But I feel like it's a good spot for Tembet right now. It's like a good spot. I feel like it's like not that bad. So we see the Auto Scryer is going to be played out as well, as mentioned before. And here we go, the next unique is coming out in Dusk. If I throw no more boost, return a card, and okay, it's a double one. Yeah. Double returning if the landmark is also coming into the play. Really good actually from Tembet, this card.
Yeah, I think that's also a good card to add, especially with the resurgence of the Nilam in the Aphonis deck list that we've talked about. So having that landmark condition isn't always a detriment nowadays. I think earlier on and Beyond the Gates, no one wanted to mess with the landmark condition, but with the introduction of some better landmarks, I think it's becoming more and more viable within the game. And we can see, I mean, realistically, what I think Equinox was hoping for, and the fact that some uniques that weren't viable early on have become a little bit more viable, and you never know when a unique that you have could be usable just based off of new cards. So don't sell them all, just keep them, hoard them. You never know when you can use your uniques. But either way, we do see a response with an attorney, and then we will see a immediate evanescence to knock that attorney and exhaust it. A great card as a whole. Doesn't let you hit 3 costs from a hand, but does allow that exhaust to happen. So I've seen a lot of preference toward this opposed to just the standard off you goes that we used to see in all Aphonis deck lists these days.
I mean, it's quite makes sense to play the Aphonis on the newer list with the Nilum together combined. Also because it's not only like usually if you have the off you go, especially right now in that case, actually the Sigma like silver 3 mana could actually say, okay, then I will play the Orders Attorney again, have like a sneaky run cost into the hand and see what's going on. Because even like if the off you go is going to be played on the upcoming turn, if you're not returning it from the hand, there's like not that always like the case that you start to playing like this at the 4 cost out of like the reserve. And it's also just like with the exhausting effect, it's like super cool as a card. So even if it's like not targeting like the biggest targets, but especially like right now going to be into that, okay, we see the Order Spy actually going to be played out against the Aphonis. That's like actually super interesting. And with 2 mana left right now, there's like, the next
there's
run.
the off you go.
There's the off you go from before. And so with that, just like removing the Order Scryer, feel like getting the additional boost, to the Muna Caregiver, so it's going returned back. And with that is a pass by, and it's actually 1 expedition left. I mean, guys, right now it's still like a super close match, and actually the Sigma still could get like a chance of taking on to that, even it seems like that. But usually on sets before, months before, there was like actually 1 card that destroyed this moment of like this close game, just like within seconds or like 2 clicks basically. So it's like still super amazing to see how it's going on. But with like the amount of characters just like being here, placed down for the Aphonis onto the reserve as well, just like the Spindler Harvester also still being on the expeditions, there's like super many targets to boost up and to keeping the spells, especially on to the hand side, so still like super hard. Will we see a small step now? That would be like super crazy. A small step right now would be like super crazy.
Be clutch.
Yeah,
I mean, nothing you can do about it, right?
Clutch right now, huh? So,
but doubt we're gonna see that small step that we're all expecting, unfortunately. But we do know that Clay has gone through 2 of the 3 uniques, and I'm almost gonna bet that 3rd unique is the Kokoba. What if he's going to be able to use it here successfully, though? I'm not sure, because it guarantees one side, but not necessarily both sides, and he needs to at least stop both sides at this point. So it's going to depend a lot on what the Aphonis was able to draw. Able to start us off here with a Rime Frost on his end, just to play a little bit slow, and unless the Sigismar player is able to play slow equally, which I don't think he'll be able to do, it feels like the Aphonis can just wait things out here and just play on the opposite side and take the game with just a singular advance, and his opponent only able to get 1 on the other side.
Yeah. So, I mean, Trin, you're right. The Kokoba could be a potential threat, as you mentioned, but it wouldn't help like that much. And with the Rime Frost going to be out again, it's like super hard. And we see the Frog Prince actually just like providing really good stats for the expeditions. It's going to be open here, just like to block as well, to just like progress. But there are like too many 1 costs still like being in the reserve, so Aphonis can potentially just like pass by every time. So it's like super hard to relying on that.
They're already looking at least being able to tie on the companion side, and they probably have another spell in hand that'll give them enough if they want. Obviously need a little bit more on stats to be able to advance on the hero side. Now the question comes for Clay on the Sigismar, that do they use the rest of their mana here to play the unique Kokoba if they have it, or do they play slow? And it looks like we will play slow and get a removal, opting to take out that studious disciple.
And I mean, with that right now, yeah. Even if
still more slow play.
Going to be played out again. I mean, the Off You Go is still like in hand, so it doesn't make like that much difference because right now.
Yeah, another removal.
Yeah.
So he's just hoping at this point that he doesn't have another character.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's just like the Off You Go, so.
Yeah.
We're not changing.
Which will be enough. Enough boosts, and that'll be GG's all the way around.
Aphonis Erator waiting room.
Yeah.
I mean, beside the fact about it, actually, out of all ESP heroes, Aphonis just like getting the most out of it, playing like the spells. I also feel like just like Erator, the Aphonis as a hero for themselves would make like, or maybe would make like a chance. So, hey, I mean, it was like a super high elo player from both players. At the end, Tempest takes it, so congrats to that, and also groups take the final table, so the first and second place are going to be groups and Tempest by far as the undefeated players. It also seems like that almost every higher table is being finished till table 7 actually. The Chaser against La Planche, so maybe take a look onto that, because one of them can also just like go 5-run and qualifying, if it like not is already qualified. And we see, the good Axioms Erasure. It's like actually a cool card. The FU Axioms, it's like a double resupply with the landbox condition.
Yep, fun little unique there. And we have seen the prevalence of a Spirit Wielder as a card coming out here that I don't think a lot of folks were planning to see in the Basira setup. And now a pretty cool card, especially with all the boosted characters that we see nowadays. So nice 4/4 for Spirit Wielder, and we'll see a helping hand come out to keep on boosting things up and start some more exhaustion happening here. But one advance away it looks like for the Basira player, and 3 needed for the Akesha, so looking pretty good for the Basira, but still 7 mana left here for the Akesha to potentially try to take this game back.
Yeah. It's like also with that, especially with the outlook, just I can sit there at the reserve and also being the starting player seems super hard.
Right.
And oh guys, actually welcome to the podcast where we talk about games that I don't thanks for the tourney, have a good rest. Yeah, thank you so much Origins to being in here. So we enjoyed the last couple of games before the tournament is going to be into an end.
Yeah, we do have a lot of cards in the reserve here for the Basira player, opting to keep that Aklute, which I imagine we'll see immediately played, and then keeping that Axiom Salvager that basically, like you said, that's some double resupply to keep some resources up. Should be an interesting last potential game here to play, or last potential day here to play, and see who can turn out on top. A lot of mana between both players, a lot of cards in hand for the Akesha, so never know what could happen next at this point, as I believe we're definitely going to see a Aklute double exhaust come out here potentially, but we'll have to wait and see if that's actually what's going to happen.
That's true. And as we saw, the Aklute was coming to be play. I mean, the Rhyme Frost as well as the Baba Yaga, like good targets. Just like to be hitting out, so that's interesting. I mean, these Axiom servers are also just like preventing a death, and this is like actually cool to see the old Haven Braavos Bastion effect. Reminding me the good old Trace days.
We'll have to see what he has here, and we see what?
Never saw that before.
Yeah, not something you typically see. Especially it's in the rare version that this lets you draw immediately.
Yeah.
A Sabotage would have been a big play to knock out the unique, but does not have it in this scenario. And is dealing with a lot of low-cost cards getting resupplied.
And,
Celebration Day.
No. Hopefully it's not that kind of deck now. Okay, guys, welcome to another hour of the tournament.
Right. Catch you later, Freeloader. Appreciate you stopping by. You played really well. Happy to see some Cojo play.
Next time we don't stream you, so you can go 6-0. We're sorry. But okay, so the celebration day? Okay, that's interesting. I'm super interested.
We do see them still play the tiny gen as far as setup and more mana, I guess. I don't know how much more mana he needs, but apparently this way he's getting more setup here. But plenty of more cards here for the Akesha.
Yeah.
Have to figure out if we're going to see some more celebration days coming out here, or if it's just going to be eventually deciding to take who's going to win. But now the Aether Shard's coming into effect, being able to draw a card. So who knows? Maybe Aether Shard meta is what's coming next here for Akesha.
Yeah.
Another Occlute does not want to let the opponent play either of those cards in reserve. Magical training, Jesus. Is this a hostage, Akesha? The Chaser TCG. We gotta find out if this is a hostage, Akesha.
Yeah.
They do have a lot more time than the Basira does at this point, so we may run into a time issue for the Basira instead. And the hostage Akesha could be the one that takes the win just purely off of time, but we'll have to see if that's the case. Able to get the boost to the Occlute in order to exhaust the magical training at least.
That's true.
Throwing out a Tooth Fairy just to sabotage nothing, or sabotage himself. There you go. Still has 11 mana though, so we definitely could see another celebration day coming out here. Could just be playing for time.
Yes.
They here use all of their cards. What is he going to hit here? He's going to hit the Aether Shard, you think? No, he's going to hit the...
Yes. I mean, it's just like an addition is that... Oh, the hunger!
Making him use everything. All cards are gone now for the Basira. The hunger will be enough to at least win one side. The question is, does he have a 2-cost card that he can win the game with here?
That's the question.
Kesha putting potentially a cherry on top of his final game to take a look at.
Yeah.
Basira shaking their head in disgust. Oh, but they don't have it.
Oh
so
my goodness, it's still not around.
To at least one more round, but it's not
That's
looking
crazy.
good for the Basira player. They'll only have 2 cards to play with.
Yeah.
The Kesha will have at least 5, maybe more. They're not going to mana. They're just going to pass. They don't hit anything. We just need a play here from the Kesha.
Yeah.
And we see the delay finally come in. GG's to both players. And the Kesha unfortunately plays on the companion side, so the hero side doesn't go into the beginning setup. Don't get to see that very often, but Runefolk, you're actually wrong at the end there. So
that's crazy. Oh my goodness! But I would say with that, it's not over.
Still not over yet, huh?
Yeah, there's still like one table playing. It's table 19. Hey, by far, guys, we're going. Oh no, it's finished now. So with that, first of all, thank you. No, is there like still another table before I'm choking you completely? Oh yeah, there's still a table, but it says it's finished now. So please.
Maybe it needs a little bit of time.
Yeah, but hey, now with that, guys, hey, first of all, thank you so much for joining in to us both together, Blue and me, Paandyandy, here into this evening for the A.W.O.L Weekly 6 for the European-based time zone. It was a super fun tournament to watch, and I was super happy to be back here after decades and be joining in. Actually, especially joining in with Blue, because for those who don't know, Blue was one of the first guys that I actually co-streamed together, restreamed together the first time. I remember back on the A.W.O.L firsties when I streamed on my Twitch channel. That's super funny.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that was super cool. When it was like completely night outside for you.
That's true. It was.
Yeah.
It was a time back then. But yeah,
it's just
congrats to all the people that
Yeah.
played as well. Gibbs on the Kojo, currently in first. Tempeted on the Aphonis, getting second. Both of them undefeated at 6-0 though, so essentially the top placing. And then the rest of the 5-1 players in Altered Aces Popeye, Altered Aces Clayus, Freeloader, BB, Ammo, DSL Woolitz, DSL Kinton, Sandodo, The Chaser TCG, Mephi, Vint, DB Trickster, and Elbor are all the 5-1s, I believe.
Yeah. So congrats for that, guys. Were super fun to watch. I hope you will have a rest of a good evening. Don't forget to check out any other tournaments if you're not being able to join in on the Monday. There are plenty on Board Games Arena you can find, as well as the Wednesday tournament for the A.W.O.L as well. For us Europeans, it will be almost on Thursday 1 a.m. But guys, 1 a.m. it's super hot outside for us, so I don't know if you can sleep anyway. So join in for
may
that.
as well play. Yeah.
Just like play some A.W.O.L and you'll be tired for the morning sessioners. So check out everything else. Check out the VOD if you missed out some rounds. And with that, do we have something else to add, Blue?
Nope, that's it. Thanks for everyone that stopped by. Feel free to subscribe to my YouTube channel too, and then watch the Make UZ stuff. They have way too many tournaments throughout the week that you can watch them on Paandyandy's channel if you like a lot of altered stuff, including that. So.
Hang on, guys. So have fun and see you. Bye bye.